And we're live! Hello, everybody! Welcome to another session of Ellseworld. This is session number 12. Can you believe it? I will introduce Ellseworld and myself very shortly and also give you a little bit of an intro and a recap on where our players and heroes have been. But before all that, we're going to do some introductions of both our players and their characters. With that in mind, I've also asked them a little question, which they're going to be answering about their characters. And the question for this week is, if this was a high school drama, what group would your character fit into? If it was like the stereotypical kind of high school groups, where would your character kind of run in that alignment? So up first, the lovely person on my right.
Hello, I'm Kane. Today, for my intro, I just want to shout out Hannah Tolley for these pencils. They're great, and we never have enough pencils, so really appreciate that.
You're the best, Hannah.
Boss. And if Reed was in one of the social groups at a high school, it would be the first one that approached them when they went to the open day. So I guess that's either the theatre kids or like the really religious group.
Oh, Reed would be such a theatre kid.
Yeah. Reed, of course.
No.
If you don't know already, is a tiny little fairy druid that looks like they're made of leaves. Their art is down in the bottom right of the screen, or it will come round in a little moment, and that was done by Said Idiot on all platforms, but primarily Instagram.
Oi, I'm Dan, hello. I'm going to be playing Quinn Denari, the Changeling Wizard, the Enchantment Wizard more specifically. If they were to get in with any group, it'd probably be the preppy kids, because I imagine they'd be going to a private school, given their
Oh,
birth.
yeah. The fancy uniform and everything.
Yeah, fancy uniform, looking down on the public school kids, but luckily they were homeschooled in the actual game, so hey, it's all
Thank goodness.
That explains so much.
Yeah. My art down below was done by Michaelis Moshu, at Michaelis Moshu, or Michaelis_Moshu on social medias. They do safe for work art, they do not safe for work art, so that's everything.
That's all of it. That's all of the
That's all
art.
art ever.
Take it away.
Hello! It is 21 minutes past 20.
Nice.
And it's in the year 2022. This is the only time you can retweet this.
It's 2022.
Yeah, that's... Oh, shut up. I'm Tom. I'm playing Appleby. There's moss. There's moss everywhere. And if he was a school group, he would probably just hang out with like the weirdest and strangest outcasts, but more
Bug
specifically,
collecting guy.
bug collecting guy, fingerless gloves guy. I was fingerless gloves guy.
Those two things at the same time.
there we are.
Bugs in the gloves.
Yeah, Appleby is one in all of us. Fingerless bug guy. I'm gonna be. My artwork is by Joas JPEG. You can see it over there and on Instagram as well. That was a chopstick. Callum,
Hello.
take it away.
It's away. Hi, I'm Cal. I'm playing Shadow. He's a Loxodon rogue who looks like a shadow. That's why he's called that. I know. Such creative brilliance. I was away last weekend, had my intro all prepped, and then Dawlish called, and I left the intro in Dawlish. So please tune in next week for the intro. Shadow will have, of course, in school been one of the sort of goth grunge leave me the fuck alone kids.
Yep.
Specifically thinking War and Peace from that superhero. Is it called Sky High?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the great pieces of media ever created.
Absolutely
What an
iconic.
incredible
A
film.
masterpiece. We
That
peaked
guy.
with Sky High in 2001.
Cultural
Honestly.
shit.
The cultural touchstone is Sky High.
Shadow, unfortunately, was not part of that film, but he was created artistically by Artie Farty. You can find them on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and their house. Jamie, what's going on?
Hi, I'm Jamie. I am playing Coroner. They are the Warforged Cleric of the Grave. If they're in a little clique, they wouldn't be. They'd be the loner kid that spends all their lunch times in the computer room doing their homework so they don't have to do it at home. And when not doing that, they're looking at like weird, grotesque videos on those weird old websites that
Lively.
all the awful like ISIS beheading videos like that was on.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Not safe for life shit.
Yeah, to really watch some fucked up shit. Cool, yeah.
And if you want to watch some
did the
fucked up
art.
shit, who can you follow, Jamie?
You can follow fucking really bad weather _art on Instagram. I think Twitter as well. They're great shit. It doesn't look real.
They post beheading videos.
I sincerely hope they don't.
Beheading art.
It's done in such a tasteful way.
It can't really just be described as a video.
Yeah.
Like ASMR and shit.
They've got a phantom that thing's at 6,000 frames a second. Like,
Slow mo. You can actually see the penknife break.
If we were monetized, that's us.
yeah, we found the
Anyway, hi, I'm Jams. I'm going to be playing Rodeo, the Dragonborn cowboy gunslinger. If she was in a high school, she would be queen of the jocks, captain of the high school, whatever team. She'd be captain of all the teams, all of them. She slept with every single cheerleader. And she'd be the coolest person in school.
Yeah, bang on.
Or the scariest teacher.
She comes back 50 years later and she's the fucking hockey coach or something.
Yeah.
She runs a hockey team like a fucking army.
She'll be the one that's like, oh, they definitely went through military training and now have come back to just traumatise 13-year-old girls in the rain.
Oh, God.
Well,
Speaking of traumatizing.
That's a strange segue.
You follow here, it's great.
You can influence the stream by cheering 150 bits. If you cheer 150 bits, you can give a player or the DM an advantage or disadvantage. Or if you up that to 750 bits or a $5, you can give someone a nat 20 or a crit fail, including us and the DM. But there are also other ways to enjoy spending your money.
Yeah, you can follow us on Patreon. If you support us on Patreon, you won't get any of the regrettable content we've mentioned throughout these intros. Instead, you'll get access to the weekly polls. Every time we play D&D, there's a poll for a nat 20 or a crit fail, and a poll for an advantage and a disadvantage. You get in both of them. That's a lot of value for your money. This week, the patrons, they really like a Jamie. That Jamie got a nat 20.
Oh, nice!
And this Jamie got an advantage.
Thanks, guys!
Cheers.
You're the best.
Just to say as well, I also have a nat 20 carried over from last week. I didn't have a chance to use it, and I actually only rolled the dice once last week. It was a very RP session.
I actually have a Patreon advantage from last week
I don't
too.
think you used that. So yeah, we're going to try and use those. So yeah, your money's not going to waste.
Watch us squirm.
Watch us squirm, indeed. Speaking of squirming, hi, it's me, it's Elliot. I will be running this session of Ellseworld, and if you're wondering why it's called that, it is because of what is beneath.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah. So last we met.
We're beneath. We're under the mountain.
You are under the mountain. Speaking of
Everything makes sense.
where we left off, our heroes did indeed arrive at the mighty city known as the Golden Tooth after some varied adventures in the coastal town of Ria Priz that revealed some enemies of theirs long forgotten and woken up known as the Crimson Gallants. You also discovered a few allies, notably one who fell out of a rift in the shape of Aldous Cragmane, a gnomish wizard who has been to the legendary First World with the dwarven princess that you were hoping was going to come through in his stead. But if you want to see all of that, you can check it out on YouTube. It's all on there. But at present, our heroes have arrived at the Golden Tooth 2 days before the Ellseworld New Year has started. You spend a little bit of time in a district known as the Dragon's Roost, the Noble District, where you met up with a figure known as Auriax Xanathu, the sort of house wizard of the King Mizark, who Faisal, your companion, told you to go and see about getting a rather annoying band of adamantium around his neck that is known as a shape tether or a Tellurian fetter, which has been binding him to his mortal form as well as preventing him from doing any kind of magic. So while you've left Faisal, Digby and Aldous in the hopefully caring hands of Auriax Xanathu, you have gone to explore some other parts of the city, most notably where Coroner is from, the Undermountain, a district beneath the mountain of the Golden Tooth, where it's a slightly more, well, it's a very much more lawless area of crime, gangs, and sort of anything goes here. You do not have to pay a tithe to the king as you would in the city proper, so a lot of people down on their luck end up down here in the Undermountain. And that is where we will be picking up as you are in the doctor's surgery of the newly christened Dr. Dexter Goreldo, Coroner's current master, the person that actually commissioned them into being. And in Dr. Dexter Felcher's examination room currently is Quinn, Coroner, and the good doctor himself. Elsewhere in the city, we've got the other three of you who went down to the Undermountain. Rodeo, Shadow, and Reed, you're sort of in the waiting room waiting to go outside to, I believe, find the letter L that fell off the sign and also go and, I guess vandalize is the right word, but put a name onto someone else's shop.
We're going to make a fake decoy sign.
Make a fake decoy sign, and up high
I'll come with you. I've got something else I want to do while I'm down here, but I'll leave you two hooligans to it while I wander off and go somewhere else.
We were told of a cafe that is neutral ground down here.
Before we get into that, we also have Appleby elsewhere in the city, who is currently on a floating platform known as Reverence, which is the holy district of the city, currently in the All Faith Shrine getting their foot repaired, as it was cut off in the very first session. So now that you're all up to date, we will actually, in fact, cut right back in to the three of you at the waiting room, waiting to go outside. And yes, sorry, you were told of a neutral ground down here. Let me just find my notes. Let me just find them.
The depths?
No, the neutral ground is known as Gelder. It is a cafe run. Coroner would have told you it was a cafe run by a sweet but no nonsense old red dragonborn lady known as Gelder, and it is neutral territory out of respect for her.
Right, well.
This exists because she does.
Yeah.
If ever she dies or goes missing, we all kill it. Like, just
she's like
all the gangs just converge.
Yeah.
She's like the pin that holds everything together in this ramshackle place. All right, cool.
She's the reason Coroner's chasing immortality, because they know
to preserve her forever. Oh yeah, I love that.
That's cute.
So as we cut to the three of you in the waiting room of Dr. Goreldo's surgery, just going to head straight on out back into the bustling streets of the Undermountain.
Yeah. Before we head out, what's in the reception room? Like, are there like anatomical charts?
A few little chairs. Not really. As we discussed last week, there's a small table with some magazines on it.
Oh yeah, no idea.
Some fairly lewd stuff in there, and some kind of like quite boyish things
Sexy,
like Arcane
sexy,
Weekly.
like medical journals.
This one has art from Sedidiot in it.
Then there's also like a counter where the doctor was stationed as you came in, which is kind of like a closed off one corner of this waiting room where you can it's one of those bars that kind of you can open up to get through.
Have Goreldo and co gone into the operating room, or are we all...
They've all gone into one of the... There's three doors here. There's one that leads out to the left. You've seen them all go into a room that is labelled examination room out to the right. And then there's the door kind of behind where you would have come in, obviously, which is, the doorway back to the street.
I'm going to have a quick look around to see if the sign that says Felcher's has just been left behind the counter or something to that effect.
Cool, yeah. Give me an investigation check.
Good choice.
The platter.
Fetch me my dice.
10.
10. You have a very cursory look. You kind of like poke your head around the counter, and you don't see any signs or anything. What you do see, it looks to be the handle of some kind of weapon poking out from underneath the counter.
Noink.
Just going to take that?
Yep.
Cool, what you do is you hear as a gun unholsters from a holster that has been kind of basically taped to the bottom of this desk.
Did it go
And you're
off?
holding this, it doesn't go off, but you do hear it kind of slides out of the leather holster and just holding this gun on the other side of the desk now.
Already, I found this. Do I put it back?
Is it loaded?
Let me check.
So hoping you fucking idiot.
Rolling like
Is it loaded?
Oh,
Is it loaded?
I don't fucking know.
You're going to check?
Tell me. I'll check.
Cool, yeah. You have a cursory check, knowing what you know of guns, being around rodeo for enough time, you can see there is a single bullet in the kind of, it's a single shot, like kind of musket pistol almost.
Pistol, okay.
Like a little flintlock. That's what the word I was looking for, so it's just kind of one shot deal. So actually looking down the end, you would have actually been able to see there's a ball and kind of powder in there.
That's loaded. I'll put it back where it was. This isn't mine.
Yeah, that's small fry.
Reholster
Even
that
better.
underneath the desk.
Cool. What's the plan?
I didn't necessarily have a plan, but I thought we could put the L back up so that the sign looks nice.
Yeah, that was my plan.
And then go to another store and paint the word Filchers outside to protect our friend,
Oh, sweet.
who I'm sure did nothing wrong.
Yeah, I also think that. While we're going with Felchers, let's just say Dex, because that's like the name that he actually is.
Is it okay. I thought, did he keep Dex under the new, like...
He is still known as Dexter Goreldo.
Yeah, we could do that. That's true. But then they might...
Ah,
They're probably looking for a place called Felchers. That's why he changed the sign.
Yeah, that's what the old sign said.
I see.
Yeah,
Chances
right.
are that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. Felchers it is then.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we need paint. Unless anyone's really good at like sign craft.
I'm really good at stealing, so
Excellent.
I can steal us a sign that already says Felchers.
You must be very good at stealing because I reckon there's only one of those.
I did look for it.
Did you find it?
No, otherwise I'd have stolen it.
Okay. Damn it, we're failing already.
Sorry, in your investigation check, I should have said as well. You would have, I presume, gone around to the other door that's in here, and you would have seen it as locked.
Okay.
Hello, boyo. Lovely to see you.
Is there...
As in the door that leads where they've gone.
Not the examination room door.
There's
Just
like a storeroom
there is a
office room.
third.
There's another door.
There is another door in here.
You've not bought a ticket to watch the operation.
Oh, is that
there
like the theatre
anything
bit?
akin-
The glass window. Cool.
It's a free
anything
thing. We're
akin
going to
to,
pay the
like,
bill somehow.
inkwells?
Yeah, behind the desk there would be like a little inkwell for like his kind of doctor's notes and roster.
Little one.
You see behind there just indecipherable notes. It's just in this scrawl that you just cannot read. As you kind of peer over the desk, you see
I've
this
got an
inkwell.
idea. I'm going to run into the examination room and knock on it in
Cool.
case anything's going on.
You kind of like go through the first door and you're met with like a little corridor where around the edge of this kind of glass walled room, you can view the examination through these kind of like paned windows as you're now looking in the kind of like observation bit. There's another door in front of you that take you into the examination room proper, but you're kind of in this glass corridor where you can view the examination going on.
Quinn, I need charcoal.
You hear just as you've kind of like had the door closed behind you, you hear the door open again and Shadow come
One
through.
moment. Just put some handful of charcoal.
I mean, I also
Thanks.
had some, never mind. You did not have to disturb me.
You just see them like starting to unbutton their shirt.
Yeah.
Still in the body of Wayland, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
I wander back to these two. I got some charcoal.
Nice.
You
Okay.
could use that.
Yeah, we can start a fire.
I was thinking more like crush it and then draw.
Oh, that's so smart.
Thanks.
That's why I brought you with me. Anyway, let's go put an L up.
All right, well, if everybody's doing an arts and crafts session, I might as well join in. I'm gonna... Are there, like... Because there were, like, a bunch of notes and stuff on the table. Are there, like... Are there blank sheets of parchment or something?
You
Is
could
there something
kinda-
that I can grab?
Yeah, you could look through them and you could find like a blank sheet in there.
Cool.
On the back
So-
of kind of like an empty document.
Yeah. So while these two are doing whatever the fuck they're about to be doing, I will get out my own notebook and my own little piece of charcoal, which
Cool.
Shadow could have asked for.
Don't say anything, just start
Just, I'm just gonna be like, okay. And yeah, while those two are messing about, making a new sign, fixing the old one, whatever the hell they're doing, Radio is sat in the corner with her piece of paper, and she is going to start writing some stuff down / scribbling away.
Cool. So you're just going to stay in the waiting room?
Yeah,
now?
they shouldn't take long. So when they head off, she will also come with them, and then we'll potentially peel off them.
Cool.
Depending on where they go.
Yeah, so you kind of have a look around the room, you get your charcoal, you get ready to go, just heading out into the streets now.
Yeah, pop
I was just
outside.
going to fix the L first. You probably still see us from the window as well.
Oh yeah, don't head off without me. But
Yeah.
this won't take long.
Yeah, that's fine.
As the two of you step out into the street, you can't initially see the L in the place where it fell down last session. It seems to have been moved somewhere.
Damn it.
Both of you could just give me a perception check to see if you can see where it's gone.
Oh, I can perceive.
Or a survival check, actually, as well, if you prefer.
Oh, I'm better at that. It doesn't matter though.
I'm the same at that. I'm going to use that inspiration I just got.
Hey! Please do, because mine wasn't very good.
Oh, mine was fucking awful.
Hey!
Fucking
Is that
hell.
even worse?
Yeah.
Yes.
9.
9?
12.
12. With the 12, you can see as some nuts and bolts have kind of like, that you can see were definitely part of the L, that's kind of like where it smashed down, have been disturbed in a way that it looks like it's been sort of dragged off, kind of down one of the small
Someone's taking
alleyways.
the L.
Nice.
Someone's taken an L.
Love that. It's us if we don't get that.
What's...
Can I track that? Is it trackable?
give me another survival check as you kind of like try and...
Look for the like drag marks, I guess.
Proficient, I will assist.
You can have advantage as you kind of like gesture shadow towards you, seeing these kind of like nuts and bolts on the street there.
Ah, yes. 18.
18, nice. Now that you are kind of like looking a bit more into it and using and Shadow's help, kind of like peering into the darkness where they belong. You can see also like this kind of smear of oil as it begins to head off distinctly down one of the kind of smaller alleyways that is directly opposite this kind of doctor's laboratory. It's very dark down there, and what you do here as you kind of begin to kind of like, you look up as you kind of follow this trail of oil, you actually see one of the trash cans in this alley just kind of like shake and rustle, and you see the kind of like sound of the metal kind of like moving down the alleyway.
I didn't make a note of his name. What was his name?
T squared.
Coroner!
T-squared.
Tristan Thompson. T squared.
You shouting that out?
You're paying our
I mean, it was your idea, so yeah.
Yeah, I'll shout it out. T-squared.
No response.
Come out with your hands up.
Give me an intimidation check.
It's a trash can mimic.
Yes, that'll be something if it is.
12.
It's gonna
12?
have a trash can mimic at some point.
No!
Oh.
Okay. Is it you?
And you see, breaking from these two trash cans, these two diminutive blue individuals that, if you give me a nature check, the two of you can try and identify, carrying this L between them as they kind of run awkwardly down this alleyway.
Nice.
Why did I roll well for that? What was the thing?
Nature. 16.
check.
Oh, 22.
22.
God.
You instantly
You know these
recognize...
two personally.
Yeah, you instantly recognize these creatures as kobolds. These are two
yes.
blue
Yeah.
kobolds that seem to be carrying this L between them.
I love kobolds. Scraggly little bitches.
Yeah.
As they now that they've had their cover blown, are just legging it down this alleyway. They're about 30 feet away from you.
Would I know much about kobolds?
With that roll, yeah, you'd know that they tend to be in the service of dragons a lot. They can even worship dragons as sort of demigods and gods. And you would know that typically they are known to be quite mischievous, quite kind of look out for to steal and stuff for their perceived masters, as well as just kind of generally tricksy beings
And very good waiters.
and very good waiters.
Excellent waiters. I'll give you 20 gold for the L you're carrying.
Kind of like you see as they both pause, looking back at you. Give me a persuasion check.
19.
19.
Deal with the goblin.
20 gold each. As they kind of like look between one another.
Fucking
Yeah, alright, 20 gold each.
Yeah, it's fine.
And you kind of like see as they like cautiously begin walking back towards you. You guys got money then? As they like carrying this thing back towards the two of you. They're now about 20 feet away as they're getting closer.
I would like, Reed will insight check that.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, I've heard any of this from inside.
Give me a perception check.
Oh, you would have seen us run away.
Oh yeah, I've probably heard a kasnuffling. What was it? Perception? A kasnuffle.
Yes,
Perception.
That's my new favourite one.
That's an 18 on perception.
With an 18, you hear the kind of sounds of conversation happening outside, and you hear it.
Scrabbling and scrubbling.
You actually hear something else as well. You hear sort of this sound of scratching. It sounds like it's coming from the roof.
Sick.
As in, like, inside the roof or on top of the roof?
It sounds like it's this
Are we
part.
on, is this a one-story building?
This part of the
basically?
building is one story, and it kind of has one of those corrugated roofs on the top of this
Oh,
bit.
okay.
And
There's a kobold on a hot tin roof.
You can hear some kind of feet scrabbling on the roof above you.
All right, I'm going outside. I want to see how the fuck is on the roof.
Cool.
Fiddling on the roof.
As these kobolds begin to get a bit nearer, you do hear the ding 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 as Rodeo also exits out through the door of Dr. Goreldo's. You see as these two kobolds carrying this line of metal between them are slowly making their way towards the figures of Shadow and Reed.
I wouldn't say I'm financially inclined, but I got enough money to pay you for the L you're holding.
Kind of like they seeing Rodeo come out of the door.
Saying they're not intimidated by me again.
The only thing in this city smaller than them.
They kind of like they pause as they see you come out of the door. No hurts, we just want the gold.
Well, yeah, that's fine. Give me the L, I'll give you the gold.
Yeah, fair exchange is no robbery.
Okay. And you see as they begin to get a little bit closer and a little bit closer. Are you going to check the roof?
I'm not going to make it super obvious, but I'm going to kind of like come out of the door, walk to the opposite side of the street or the alleyway or whatever we're on.
Yeah.
So that I'm still facing the two little kobolds.
Yeah.
But I'm probably tall enough as well that from across the other side of the road, I've got a decent vantage point if anything's like peeking over the top of the roof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just give me one final perception check.
Yeah. Oh, that's a 21.
Nice. That is what you needed as they rolled very well on their stealth. As you actually see two kobolds kind of taking cover behind this new signage that has been put up on Dr. Goreldo's kind of frontier.
Are they after the rest of the alphabet?
You see actually as one of them is holding a wrench in hand and is unscrewing the bolts of the O at the end.
All right, well, I look up and I say in Draconic.
Okay.
Because I can safely guess that kobolds will speak Draconic.
Which O is he taking?
The last O.
Yeah, it's very important. What does it spell now?
Dr. Gored?
Dr. Gored.
Hasn't quite managed to take it off yet.
Dr. Gore.
Sorry as well, what you do see is the second kobold is up there, the one that's not holding the wrench, seems to be spinning this thing in his hand.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll look up and I will say in Draconic to them, "Hey kids, what you doing up there?"
Stealing!
They're honest.
Yeah, well, you know what? You know what, youngins? I appreciate your honesty, but that don't belong to you, does it? Because if it did, it wouldn't be stealing.
Everything in the Undermountain belongs to the Blue King! And you see as this one begins to start wrenching the sign off quicker. And the other one is, you see as he gets ready to throw his sling at you. Could all of you get ready to roll initiative here?
Oh my god.
Kobold strike.
That's so good.
Hell yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh shit, I rolled well.
Yeah, I rolled well on
Start of the
we
session
all
was
rolled well on
garbage.
initiative.
Absolutely smoke these goblins.
Cool. What did y'all get for y'all initiatives?
I got a non-natural 20.
A non-natural 20.
The filthiest.
For Reed.
A
Shadows.
slightly filthier non-nat 20.
Oh.
What's... well, you guys can just...
Gotcha.
Hey, oh, guess what I rolled? The most rancid 20.
Oh, these
That 20's been left out in the sun.
It's been out for days.
that poor kobold.
Can we all just like the sickest triple combo move in existence?
You can do a combo move, but
Never rehearsed it in our lives. It's flawless.
Shoot each other.
No, the kobolds didn't get a natural 20.
before we go into this combat,
okay.
we're going to cut away to someone else before the entire session revolves around these kobolds.
Alright, yeah. I fucking love them already. Were they all blue, by the way?
They are all blue
all
kobolds.
little blue creatures.
Yes.
They've
Okay.
got blue dragons.
They all look like Stitch, but like slightly scalier.
That's one of my favourite moments of Ellseworld so far, and I wasn't even there.
What are you doing? Stealing!
Well, that, and then fucking... Everything in the Undermountain belongs to the Blue King! Oh, man.
Well,
Genuinely
I know
tearing
what
up
I'm
at that. That
doing
was
is-
so good.
And now for something more normal, the prostate.
Into the examination room as
Back to the
normalcy
medical documentary.
resumes. You see Dr. Goreldo there with one eye magnified to a very high degree by this lens he's wearing over one eye. And you see as he begins to consecrate the examination room as you're inside, you hear him walk around the kind of perimeter of the room, murmuring these kind of incantations and blessings. as he walks around the room. Coroner, you're aware of this, and you're actually walking in the other direction, kind of like blessing this room in preparation.
Bless this mess.
Bless this mess. In the middle of...
It's written on the wall in blood.
in the middle
And there's
of...
a tally beneath it, but you don't know why.
no.
days since last incident. In the middle of the room, Quinn, you are just slowly getting undressed, I presume?
Yeah, I'll just get completely naked.
Get completely naked?
I'm currently looking like Wayland, so...
Coroner, you see
Okay.
the naked form of Wayland, the man you released out into the wild.
Do you have Wayland's, like, genitals?
You
Got the approximation.
Yeah, the approximation of Wayland's genitals, which is going to be the
Great.
title of this episode. As you see this naked, quite burly, mid-50s-ish man there with this kind of short crop of dark hair, this stubble on his face, very much the image of the last time you saw Wayland the torturer in the city of Riapriz. The doctor and yourself finish your kind of consecrations of the room, and you kind of turn to Quinn, who
Just sat waiting.
sat just on this kind of lightly padded table in the centre of the room.
You see this tough-looking middle-aged man kicking his feet like a kid.
Well, I'm sorry to ask, but I'm going to have to ask you to revert to your true form, if that's quite all right.
I was expecting as much.
Yeah.
Stand up. You see, as usual, as they begin to like twitch and like almost kind of jerk. Lol. You see, as they become
Bloody hell.
quite similar to the form that they present as anyway, but maybe like a few inches taller. Their skin gets somehow even paler, and their limbs extend only by like a couple of inches. It still looks very human, but it's uncanny valley.
Nice.
Like it's not. It's almost too human. You can see that the eyes are kind of wide circles that are pitch black, that kind of blink with a set of pink eyelids. And you also notice about the entirety of Quinn's body are very pinkish raised scars that are perfectly straight that end in circles. On the arms, the back of the arms, the back, the torso, the legs, and you can see that there is a very distinct cut mark from ear to ear.
I mean, my first question, which seems relevant, is: are those scars pre or post your trauma?
They're all pre.
All pre. All right.
These are all for... we'll get into it.
You see, as you transformed, Dr. Dexter is furiously writing notes down. You see, as he actually ticked through into like the third level of magnification of his eyelids.
Oh, you see also no genitals whatsoever. And after about 30
He's like a Barbie doll.
After about 30 seconds, you begin to see a very slight film as I begin to secrete.
Oh, yes.
And
the-
suddenly,
You see, as Felcher gets his pen and kind of like scoops up a bit of the like of your essence.
Yeah.
Ectoplasm.
Can I have some of this?
please do, I hate this.
Kind of like he scoops up a load and like puts it into a little vial that he's got
Also
himself.
take some to stop. Oh my god!
Start drinking it with a straw.
If only Coroner had a mouth.
You're quite a creature.
I'm a changeling, yes.
Wow, interesting.
That goo, it's what like helps me change. Don't drink it.
Don't drink it. What happens?
He's already drunk it.
I don't.
Please tell me what happens.
I don't.
He's already got the ball open.
I
Like,
don't know. I just thought it'd be a bit weird, you know. It'd be like me drinking your sweat.
Noted. Possible. But
All right, so you're not like Appleby.
No.
All right.
What?
The fact that Appleby drinks
nothing's
sweat.
like apple.
Well, if you wouldn't mind just lying down, we'll have a little investigation of your insides.
Are you going to cut me open?
No. A simple spell is all.
What's the nature of this spell?
It's just a very minor cantrip that allows me to look into your system. It's actually something I've been trying to teach Coroner here.
All good. Hop
I'll closely watch him cast this in hopes that I can learn it.
Do you mind assisting here? Kind of like
Swim
begins
in the
to say the incantation. Says, "Remember what I taught you," and you kind of begin to follow him in these incantations as he attempts to teach you the spell Bone Regard. Could you just give me a straight check, add your spell casting ability mod, whichever one you use for your spell casting, add that thingamajig, so it's wisdom for you as a cleric.
Yes. Ooh, I'm going to use my inspiration very quickly. Oh, that's what we wanted. gonna regard some bones. That
Regard some
is a
bones.
23.
I'm going to use my Patreon nat 20. Thanks, Patreon, as well on this roll. And Dexter's I'm going to give Dr. Dexter a 20 on this check to help you learn the spell Bone Regard.
You've had a compliment in the chat.
Thank you, Caro. It came out of somewhere really stupid, so I'm glad you like it. You begin to murmur these incantations. You feel as the kind of power between the two of you joins briefly as this knowledge flows out of the good doctor, and kind of knowing how he works and knowing the kind of like systems that he kind of uses to cast his magic, it begins to flow into you and then sort of back out again. And you can feel the power of this spell now known by you in your kind of in your inner workings, in your mechanics, as you now know the spell the cantrip Bone Regard. It is
Regard those bones.
I'm regarding them. Will this app let me add custom spells?
one action to cast. For a minute, you can choose a creature that you can see, and for that minute, you can see that creature's inside as long as you remain within 5 feet of that
Cool.
creature.
I'll get that from you later properly if I can figure out how to add
But as this spell goes off and the two of your hands are waving over the prone form of Quinn, you do indeed see beneath this kind of seeping flesh of Quinn, you see their skeletal structure, very similar to a humanoid's, and you begin to see their kind of like bag-like organs inside their body that aren't in the same configuration that you would see in a lot of humanoid creatures, because they just seem to be able to move around inside Quinn. There is nothing that remains fixed within a changeling. All the pipes, all the tubes, all the veins just sort of shift and meld into one another. You think
They got bones?
they do have a skeletal structure. That seems to be one part that is very solid within them, but all the kind of fleshy internals are more like just sacs that you can see in this kind of amorphous shape. You can see there is definitely one that's a heart as it kind of beats away. There's definitely two that are lungs that are kind of rhythmically going with Quinn's breathing. But aside from that, there's a lot of things in here that you do not recognize, as you can see within the body of Quinn.
Well, those 100 years did an absolute number on your internal organs.
Oh no.
This is quite unlike anything I've seen before.
I hope I wasn't a heavy drinker.
And could you just give me a general medical check to see if you can see, now that you have this, and you can have advantage with your bone regarding, as you attempt to see if there's anything wrong with Quinn.
Oh, legendary 12s, which
Nice.
means it is an 18.
Cool. As you kind of look over Quinn, there's nothing you can obviously see. There's no broken bones. There's no kind of perforation of any of the organs. There's no, from what you can tell anyway, internal bleeding, slime in the wrong place. It's hard to tell, but from your kind of knowledge of the creatures you have kind of autopsied and seen inside of in a much different way, you don't appear to see that there's anything internally wrong with Quinn. Felcher, on the other hand, got a 25 on his medicine check.
Wow.
And with that, he kind of messaged, "You say you were enchanted?"
To the best of my knowledge, and I lost a lot more time than I thought I did.
How long exactly was that?
100 years?
Well, you're definitely not 100 years old. Or at least something has slowed the aging within you.
That's good. I certainly didn't feel 100.
Were you somewhere cold when this was happening?
There was a garden, but magic can produce all kinds of wonders.
There's signs of, not frostbite per se, but there's signs that your body has experienced great cold in the not too recent past.
Oh, summer cold.
I'm afraid, aside from that, doesn't look like you were hurt at all. Apart from, all the obvious scarring and stuff, but
Oh, this was all consensual.
right. To each their own.
To each their own. Somewhere cold.
But no, I'd say you have more of the, if I were to guess, without cutting you and counting the rings.
Counting the rings.
Yeah, like we have a tree.
Oh.
If you cut it down,
Is
cut
that
the rings.
because I'm from the Feywild? Does
No.
it work the same?
I didn't know that. But I would say you were around early 20s.
Okay, that's That puts me right about where I think I should be.
But you say you've been missing for 100 years.
Or so I'm told. The dates seem to suggest that, but I suppose when you're mind controlled, it's hard to keep track of time.
Coroner, just give me a straight intelligence check, because you kind of try and use your medical knowledge to piece some stuff together.
It's not good, I'm afraid. 5.
Cool. I've got a 1 on this crit fail.
I have an inspiration I can give you.
I'll use it. It's worse.
Oh,
Wow. Now it's a 6, actually. One better.
Yeah, you're kind of struggling to put together how Quinn could be this age, but also supposedly have missed 100 years of their life, according to what you have been told.
No clue, I'm afraid. The world is odd. Mathematics abound.
I guess if my body's pretty much stayed the same, then I should just pick up the course where I left off.
Guess so.
Maybe.
That's a good attitude to have.
Violent murders.
Violent murders.
Oh.
Sorry, I just heard Shadow's voice. So.
That's them outside.
That's
going
just
for
them
the
outside
cobalt.
yelling.
Badass!
I think at some point in the near future, or in the distant future, I need to get back to Ardgrave. But thank you both for doing this. I very much appreciate it. Do you need like a blood sample, a piss sample? I can turn into different things if you need me to.
Oh, if you'd give me a piss and a blood sample, that'd be good.
You can take the blood from this form, but I'll need to change to give you a urine sample.
Where does it go when you're not?
Yeah, what? You can't urinate in that form?
Everything turns into this.
It's all slime, baby.
Oh, right.
Okay, that's why I shouldn't drink it.
It takes a lot to change it. Like if I change a lot in the same day, it takes up a lot of energy. But
If you secrete with the sludge, I've got the sludge, so that's fine. Let's just go with the blood.
Cool.
Yeah.
Go for right here, and I'll point. There's actually like the perfect place to take blood is where one of those circles is.
Coroner, if you wouldn't mind, you've got
Yeah,
the
Coroner uses their syringe finger and
Oh, lovely.
draw some blood.
kind of
Inspector Gadget.
felt
Quickly
All right,
but
children.
spritzes it with some like fucking Dettol. It's like, right, there we go.
Take dark blue blood.
Yeah. I'm sure that's
Blue.
fine.
kind of like take the sample to Felch, who's kind of waiting with a little test tube to put it in, corks it up, and puts it to his size. As far as I'm concerned, you're clear to go.
Oh, amazing. Oh, it's good to know I've not, like, died or been tended.
Don't think so.
Somewhere cold, you say? Like, well, like where? Do you know of anywhere?
It wasn't just cold, it was extreme low temperatures.
Extremely low temperatures. So,
Pretty damage that we can still see right now. That's like cold scarring.
Arctic Circle of whatever the Arctic is, kind of level.
There's the Winterlands to the south and the North Wilds to the north, as you
Are they like
expect.
extreme cold areas?
They would be probably some of the coldest places on Ellseworld, for sure.
That or, you say my organs haven't aged, maybe they kept being some kind of like cryostasis.
Maybe you've been in a freezer for 100 years.
Maybe.
That's interesting.
You ice.
Oh my god, you're the Winter Soldier.
Oh my god, it's Walt Disney.
I never
Freight
got to
car.
see that play.
One of the best ones, actually. And as you kind of like finish up your examination here, we will cut back not to the combat, but to Appleby Oakwood.
It's Appleby.
Hello.
As you're lying in this sort of bed made of this tree that has grown around you in the All-Faith Shrine in the Reverence District, being tended to by these two clerics of Sylvanus, Miran the Furbolg, kind of putting this aura of this green energy around the ankle of your foot. And you actually see as the kind of mushrooms and the rot that have been growing out from this kind of like armor and the blood that's kind of stained it begin to recede back within this kind of sabaton. As you see his kind of like hands going over you, you see as this other cleric, the wood elf, begins to channel her magic into Miran as she kind of puts her hands on this Furbolg's, I wouldn't be able to put it on his shoulders, he's fucking massive, but like she kind of puts her hands on his waist as she channels her energy into him. And you see as not only do you feel as your foot begins to reconnect, the tendons kind of snapping back together, the veins closing back shut like vines growing around one another. You also see as this metal sabaton on your foot begins to transmute from metal into this bark-like wood encasing your foot. As you see, not only have they healed your foot, but they have enhanced it. They've put this now permanent fixture of this bark that is now fused to your flesh. This kind of bark-ish sabaton is now completely encasing your foot, and seems to, as you kind of like, as the spell sort of ends and the green magic fades away, as you kind of begin to move the foot, it's works like your foot would, but with these kind of like this slight crinkle of bark as you flex your foot back and forth after this procedure is done, with this now kind of barky texture over your leg, or over the ankle. It is done.
I mean, it's great. It's astounding. It's really quite fantastic. But I was kind of hoping to be able to wear my shoes again.
Well, I'm afraid the spell is done now.
Too fucking late, Chief.
You could still wear a shoe on the other foot.
Well, yeah, that wasn't part of
It
Thank
appears
you.
that you wear slippers in any case. Perhaps if you got a larger size, you could slip it over.
Do you know a slipper guy?
I know a sock merchant.
He's very well known in town.
We love this segue to our sponsor.
Appleby won't say anything, but will sort of be like, yeah, do tell, sock merchant.
The shop is called Cozy Toes, down in the Grand Bazaar.
Cozy Toes.
Yes.
That was a fun one to say.
That sounds really
That
good.
sounds very good.
pleasing.
We have to go, I'm sorry.
I certainly have Cozy Toes now. And I'll sort of look down and like flex this weird barky foot.
Yeah, you see as it all kind of like segments, almost like a beetle's carapace on your foot.
So is it not flesh anymore? As in, like, you can't see any meaty parts?
Yeah, no
This
meat
is
remains.
the main concern I have right now. Did it just become dirt again? Or
It's
is it
now,
just wood?
you see this kind of, there's moss flowing into this wooden sabaton that kind of covers your foot.
Just out of interest, do I still have toes? Or is this like... Can I feel like I've got toes inside of this boot, or is this boot my foot?
The boot's your foot now. But it functions
At least it's not
perfectly.
rotting.
No, this is sick. It's fucking cool.
Functions
You're going to
very
have to cut your other foot off now just so you can get a matching pair.
So
functions perfectly, but yeah, you can't like individually bend your toes or anything, as you can't really feel them inside there anymore.
Hold on, I didn't have toes. That wasn't a part of the deal.
Undo it now.
I'm afraid I could not see your toes, so I didn't see it fit to give you any others.
Obviously, my foot doesn't look like the boot. I'll get your seeds, pal, but it won't be getting a great Yelp review.
Luckily, I'm good friends with the cleric of Yelp. God of reviews, of course.
Refusing customer service.
You see over in the corner, there's two guys furiously, like with their fingers to their ears, like, yeah, okay, we'll get that sorted, yeah.
You'll have a full refund, madam, we promise.
I did not come to this game to hear about my work.
It's just Cal on the other side. But with like a cool robe on.
Yeah. That's
Cool
what it
yellow
turns out to
robe.
work.
Yeah, exactly.
With
Cool
like the
yellow robe
fingers
and a
on it.
sending stone on like a cable that comes down here for some reason.
And like a lanyard.
The bit that looks like the ear is here, and there's a bit that looks like a mouth.
Oh god.
Kind of like this guy puts his hand on your shoulders. Go with peace, my friend.
And also with you. I have often got trouble expressing gratitude, but just know that you have truly fixed my foot.
Thank you. And know this. If you ever need to be away from the darkness that occludes your soul, he cannot hear you in this place.
Huh. So none of that was on his radar.
He cannot hear you in this place. The one who follows you.
Huh. What could I say? I don't even like bells.
Point of expression there. I've won already.
Thanks. And that probably just laughs for like a good, uncomfortable minute.
The guy kind of chuckles with you initially, Mirren, and then kind of like begins to like turn to his work.
It echoes around this large.
See as the
chamber
Yelp
in
cleric
like
kind of takes off his headset and looks down. What's going on over there?
and that's that'll be it. I'll head out.
You stroll out of reverence, and
The other guy's only fighting any kobolds. Be a shame to miss out on that.
as you head out of
Starwipe, back to kobolds.
as you head out of the Temple of Reverence, indeed, Starwipe, back to the Undermountain. It's actually one of those a wipe fade.
George Lucas classic.
Yeah. As you see Rodeo there, finger above pistols, as the three of you are up first in the initiative order. 4 kobolds around you doing various things. 2 are currently 20 feet ahead of you holding an L, and there are another 2 about 10 feet back from you and 15 foot up on this roof. The 3 of you are up first, so you got, it's your game.
It is.
Does anyone have anything that they want to do immediately?
What
Because I wanted to hang back for a sec.
are the 2 in front of us doing? Are there any indications
I
they're
think
going for us?
I'm intrigued by what the fuck these little critters are up to, so I'm not going to kill any of them.
Yeah, no.
Also, they're probably not going to do us that much damage.
They're just getting
I don't
stuff
give a
for
shit.
a
They're
drag,
just
aren't
little
they?
babies. I don't know who the Blue
the-
King is.
The two holding the L are still holding the L. They obviously haven't had their turn yet, and you can see kind of as the kind of combat awareness kind of comes into your head. You can also see now these 2 on the roof. One furiously trying to
Just
unlatch this
cranking.
O, and another one swinging this thing in his hand. If any of you, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Reed, you definitely recognise this as a sling. I think
yeah.
you have one.
I do. Oh, yeah, I never crack it out. I should do that more
Yeah,
often.
you need to,
I need
We'll
to
get
write
back
that
to
down,
Twitch.
obviously. It's not on my sheet.
What you got
We'll
to
get back
yeah.
from Twitch if Kane.
I'll go
Get their sling out.
I'll go first.
Sling it out.
I'll go first, and I'll look at the 2 in front of us
Okay.
and go, just so you're fully aware, I don't want to pick a fight with you. But I think there's a fight going on over there. This could be a separate transaction. And then we'll just touch Shadow and make Shadow invisible.
Okay, cool.
Oh god.
Nice. That your action?
That's my action.
Bonus action?
That speech.
That speech? Cool. Yeah. So
Oh no, actually, no. I'll touch Shadow and make them invisible, and then bonus action, Misty step onto one of the 2 blue kobold shoulders.
one of the ones holding the L.
Yeah, and
Okay.
be like, I don't want to, like whisper, I don't want to pick a fight with you. This could just be a simple transaction. I've got the gold. Let's make it happen.
Cool. Give me a persuasion check as you do this.
God, I wish Reed had any charisma. They love talking to people, but they're an idiot.
We need to get rid of this. There's rocky terrain in the middle of the map.
Oh, I have to have the original roll, don't I?
Please, yeah.
5.
5. Okay, I'll bear that in mind. Rodeo and Shadow.
Can I see the kobold with a sling?
Yeah, now that you've kind of like gone into this fight, you kind of like have been, everything's been pointed out to
Yeah.
you, let's say.
How-
You are now super invisible.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. How far above me is the kobold with the sling? Because they're on the roof.
They're
aren't
15 feet up on the roof and 10 feet behind you.
Oh, they are up.
They up
Right.
on a roof,
They're
yeah.
quite high up, yeah.
They up. They got them
Hey.
ups.
Up.
Damn.
Whoa!
I am gonna
I just go along with it.
attempt to. How narrow is this alleyway?
The alleyway that they have just come out, you're kind of in a street at the moment that extends out both ways. And the alleyway that they were going into was pretty narrow, but the street you're in at the moment is about 40 foot wide.
Does the alleyway join on to Felcher's?
No, that's like opposite his place. There is an alleyway 2 doors down from Felcher's though, but not important to this fight.
Cool.
So I don't know why I brought it up.
No, that's fine.
There's an alleyway.
Just good to know where I am and what I'm doing. I'm just going to use my invisibility to try and take the L.
Take the L. Cool. Yeah. Go on up and give me Give me it's going to be a contested athletics check as these two kobolds are going to attempt to hold on here.
Do I have an advantage because I am invisible?
Sure, yeah.
I think that counts as being surprised.
Yes, that would be very surprising. So yeah, give me an athletics check at advantage. These guys, effectively, one's going to be helping the other, so they'll also be having it at advantage. Ooh, that was not great from them. That's going to be a 5 from the kobolds.
Sick. 17.
Nice. You kind of go up to them and you just lift it out of their hands. You actually
both of them.
You lift both of them briefly off the ground. Really, you're kind of like buffeted with these kobolds as you're on one of their shoulders. As they kind of both, as you kind of lift it above their kind of head, they both just let go to the ground as you kind of lift this thing out of their hands.
Cool. And I'm going to drop 20 gold out of my pocket onto the floor.
Cool.
That's 1 L.
Yep.
That's 20 gold. If you find me another L, that's 20 more gold.
Cool. They might do something on their turn with that.
Cool.
Anything else you'd like to do?
I'm going to start walking towards Rodeo.
Start walking towards Radio?
Still invisible, I'm assuming.
Yeah, not attacked or
That's
casted a
not
spell.
attacked,
So,
damage.
There's just an L floating towards Rodeo.
as you picked it up, it would have also turned invisible, in fact, as they would have let it go. So that is something you're holding now.
Nice.
So yeah, this L actually vanishes as as you don't see the form of shadow come towards you.
Okay.
I'm going to make sure that I'm not in gunfire line.
Okay, cool.
Rodeo
I'm not going
and
to shoot at them.
Well, I don't know that.
Yeah, I guess you
Just a
can.
new cap. Speaking of,
See Rodeo, assume gun.
Y'all gonna come down from there? Last chance.
give me a persuasion check. Or intimidation if you prefer.
Yes.
Oh, it's +1 to either. That's a natural 20!
Hey, that's all right.
Nice.
She's saying it in Draconic as well.
Cool, yeah.
Nice.
Something will definitely happen on their turn. As is there anything you'd like to do? else?
I'm going to wait to see what they do first.
Okay.
And then if they decide to throw something at me, continue to unwrench whatever they're doing,
Yep.
make a run for it, whatever, I will be throwing my lasso
Throw your lasso. Nice.
to try and
cool.
wrangle at least one of them. If
Sweet.
not both in a single loop, but it depends how close together they are, I guess.
Okay, yeah, sure. So you're readying the action to lasso.
My hand is twitching next to the rope on my belt. A single
to cast.
tumbleweed somehow inexplicably appears from the alleyway. They're not native to this area whatsoever. It's just this one tumbleweed has followed me the entire way here from the
There's
desert.
another kobold chasing this tumbleweed, like, mine! As it goes across the...
See, I'm ready.
Cool. As we go over to the kobold's turn.
What are they going to do?
First of all, the kobold that you just dropped 20 gold in front of dives to the ground. Just starts to hammer gold into his pockets,
Mouth.
anything he can. Yeah. If you go into his mouth, he grabs handfuls of them and then just begins to run down the alleyway that he was going down with the L first. The one that you were on the shoulder. When you were on the shoulder of, kind of like looks around, seeing his comrade disappear with this gold, also begins to run away. You could take an attack opportunity here if you want to, as you are within combat range of this guy.
I don't think Reed wants to.
You don't want to?
No. Reed, as they run away, Reed will just be like, thank you, I didn't catch your names, but we're friends.
Cool. As you do so, yeah. This other kobold begins to sprint away. On the rooftop, Rodeo, you see as the one kind of like swinging the sling just sort of like drops it as they're swinging it. It flies off behind them as they're like, scatter! And the one who's kind of like furiously wrenching this thing is going to... Nice. You see as the O of the sign drops to the ground as he finishes wrenching this thing on his turn, and then looks around and begins to follow as this other kobold begins to scatter onto the next door rooftop as they jump off of Dexter's roof onto the next building along and begin to run across the rooftops away.
Do I get a chance to...
Sorry, yes, and then you're ready...
To wrangle?
Yes, then your ready action will go off. I'd say they are small and close enough that there is potential to get both here. What I'd say is you can get one and it will be an attack made against their AC, or you can go for both and it will be a slightly harder check, basically. It would be effectively a cool shot.
To get both of them?
To get both of them.
And it's... Because it's basically just a reskinned net, it's just like a thrown attack,
Yes.
isn't it?
So it'll be your dex plus your proficiency to attack.
Does it count as a ranged attack?
It does count as a ranged attack,
Cool,
yes.
then I get a bonus on that as well.
Cool.
So that's
What I'd say is the plus to get both of them is +5.
+5. Well, with all of those things said and done, I have a +8.
Okay.
Nice.
Go on.
So fuck it.
Going for both?
I'm going for both.
Oh no.
That's a 16.
16. As you just managed to catch both of them in the net. As you are pulling and pulling, that was 1 below the DC, so you're going to have a setback here, and the setback is you to make an athletics check as both of them are pulling against this rope.
Oh, that's 9.
They got a 7 advantage there. So you're just like
little baby.
your feet dig in, the kind of claw at the back of your foot just sinks into the kind of like
my stirrups?
The stirrup, sinks into the ground here as you hold onto this rope, knowing kind of the cost of letting go after the incident in the boat with Pay It to Wet.
Oh god, that's
hold on, you wrap your arm around this thing as the two kobolds, you see them on this rooftop, just kind of like their legs just scattering underneath them. They can't quite gain any purchase as you slowly begin to reel them in. You do so, and we'll effectively go out of combat there as these two kobolds are tied in this lasso on the roof. You kind of pull them to the edge of the roof. They're like, whoa, 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 don't pull us off. Don't laugh. I'm scared.
Say it again.
We surrender. Don't pull us off.
Will you all come quietly now? We ain't gonna hurt you. Come on. We just want to stop you causing trouble.
How quiet?
You don't have to be that quiet. Just
How good?
don't fuck around.
Okay. We're trapped right now.
I'm going to start climbing up hopping up the building.
Cool. Yeah, you do so. Now that you're out of combat, you kind of have all the time you need to do this. As you as now you're the two of you, Coroner, you with your passive perception, you can hear there's some kind of commotion
you can hear
on the roof.
rambling on the
as you hear this kind of bulky form begin to climb up the side of Dr. Goreldo's. What the bloody hell's going on out there?
Well, we'll see. And I'll disappear out the front door.
Cool, yeah, the two of you go out, seeing Shadow climbing up onto the roof of this...
I wouldn't see Shadow.
Oh, no, you don't see Shadow. Shadow's still invisible.
What you
just
would
see the building creaking.
Yeah.
is Reed floating over, hands on hips, saying at the O, and then desperately trying to pick it up.
Did another one fall off?
You see these two lassoed kobolds on the roof.
Oh.
And this kind of fallen wrench on the ground where Reed is desperately trying to lift up this big O. Quinn, you're also now out here. What form would you be in?
I'd actually be lagging behind because I'd have to get dressed.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
What I say is
Running
this,
out of like trousers.
this would have taken place kind of as things finished up and as the paperwork was getting signed.
Human boy form.
Back in Wayland's form?
It'd be Wayland,
Yeah. So you head out in Wayland's form, and you two see these two lassoed kobolds on the roof.
Pick up both kobolds and just jump down.
So would
I figured if I throw them,
No.
they might die.
Cool, yeah. Just give me a dex check as
You just
you
gently
jump
throw
down.
them down to me.
So make it a dex save,
Like a
sorry.
sack of kittens.
Dex save, 23.
23, yeah, you very much know how to land a good old jump as a rogue. You spent many years parkouring through the trees. Sure, why not? Yeah. As you, land softly on your knees and deposit these two kobolds safely on the ground as they're kind of
invisible.
Still invisible as they are squirming.
They must be very confused right now.
How are you doing this? What kind of witchcraft is in this lasso? You see as one starts trying to chew through it. These.
I'll clip that one round the ear. So that will drop the invisibility. Hello, friend.
Yeah, we're friends, right?
We could be.
You got gold for the rest of us, right?
What's all this commotion?
A couple of scallywags helping themselves to that new signage up there. And what does it say now? Dr. Gored or something?
It says Dr. Gorel.
Gorel, there we go.
Gore space L.
The O is on the floor, and then Shadow, you've got the other L, I guess.
You've
got the other letter
How
of the
many L's in
alphabet.
Goreldo?
Oh no, the other letter I meant, but
Yes.
so we've got everything.
Thank you, fancy animal vegan.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
You've got an advantage.
Yeah!
Thank you.
That's okay.
You see as Shadow has this L under their one arm now.
The second the kobold says we're friends, right?
Reed is on that.
Reed is like, yeah. All right. What's your name?
Verosi.
Verosi. You were ready for that question.
Elle's learning.
Okay, nice to meet you, Verosi. And your friend?
That's Erin.
Erin. Okay, nice. This is going much better than usual. So theft, big no. Don't do that again, otherwise
It's not
friendship's
theft.
over.
I told you everything under here belongs to the Blue King.
Is that you?
Well, actually, it was Erin, but
Who's the Blue King?
who's the Blue King? You're joking, right?
I assume I'd know who the Blue King.
As you hear this, indeed, you do know the Blue King.
Is that like a history kind of thing that I could roll for?
I don't know.
It's an Undermountain thing, so potentially...
Coroner, can you tell us the vibes?
Yeah, potentially wouldn't have heard of this thing. But, Coroner, you do indeed know that this is indeed a front. Not a front, but this is a name given to... Where the fuck is this guy's name?
Ready for Verosi's name? But
I was
the name of the
so
Blue King?
unready for this. I'll find it later. But essentially, you know, this is the name given to the leader of the Blue Blood gang, which is the kind of mob that runs the Undercity, out of the establishment known as the Dragon's Head, which is supposedly a tavern, but everyone knows it's just a front for this gang. Yeah, that's what you know. He's a gang leader, and almost every building, shop, house down here pays a protection fee to the Blue Bloods here.
Oh, what the fuck? So you don't pay to the king, but you still have to pay to
You
someone?
have to pay the Blue King.
Jesus.
Pay to a king, whoever you are. Right. Have we not paid our money to the Blue King?
You see, Dr. Felch kind of comes out there at that point, and well, Dr. Felcher paid him. Don't know about Dr. Goreldo.
Right.
Yeah.
How much is a tithe?
Well, they usually just take a cut of what's in there on the day when they go up, when they show up.
Or one of our letters.
Or apparently, in this case, they're trying to send a message.
I owe you for that wonderful physical you've just given me, so how about I cover this for you?
Very well. Well, you have to deliver the money to the king.
I'd quite like to meet a common man who calls himself king, because clearly I don't see a kingdom.
This is his kingdom, the Undermountain.
Belongs to Mr. my side.
Nominally, yes, but the Dragon King has never been down here. His guards don't come down here. The wardens don't come down here.
It'd be interesting to cut him to see if he also runs with blue blood.
Best not to do that.
How are the kobolds reacting to this?
They kind of like are listening with this kind of intent, kind of rapture as you're talking about their leader.
So look to the kobolds. Is he a dragon?
He's our god.
So yes.
That's a yes.
The Blue King owns everything down here. If you're down here, you belong to him.
I belong to no one. I belong to no one.
While you're down here, you belong to the Blue King.
It's exciting.
If he owns everything down here, does that mean he knows everything as well?
He knows everything, yeah. I think so.
Yeah? You would say that anyway, wouldn't you? How much does he know about the comings and goings of folks down here? For example, we ain't been here that long, but for example, a couple of newcomers, how long would it take for news of strange new faces around here to get back to His Majesty?
Depends how much waves you make.
But stick around here long enough, chances are he'll pick up on things.
If you're somebody, yeah.
Oh, we're safe then. Applebee's not come down
All
yet.
right.
Cut back to Appleby and he's fucking like singing ditties on the train again and like singing the famous song of the Golden Kingdom. And
All right, okay. I might be interested in paying His Majesty a visit at some point.
Can I ask a possibly unintentionally ignorant question about his city? Does Mizark just like not know you lot exist, or does he just not care?
Doesn't care.
It's not in his line of
He's
sight.
got his nice
not in
shiny
his
city up
mind.
there where people can pay to live there and sit under his thumb, and then anyone who can't afford to, they end up down here.
Then why is... But he's your king.
No, anyone who lives down here would say he isn't.
The Blue King's our king.
Yeah, exactly.
But everyone knows that Mizark owns the city, but the Blue King owns everything that's under the city.
Mizark owns it. But
What's-
it sounds like
hang on,
he
hang on.
runs it.
Why?
What's above?
Oh no.
A horrid place, little one. You don't want to go there.
I don't know, I think you'd quite like it. It's shiny and covered in gold.
It's a lot nicer down here.
The king doesn't let us go up there.
It's a lot of
Yeah,
gold.
that's tracks. You'd probably not come back.
It's what?
A lot of gold.
Please don't.
Like the whole thing is covered in gold.
It's not. They're teasing you.
It's gross up there.
How about I make you a deal?
Oh no.
I don't think you're in a position to be making.
You see him lasso Claire to his friend, who's like eagerly nodding along with this.
But for the entertainment value, yes, please make us a deal.
Oh, you take me up there.
Yeah. I thought that might be where that ended. Yeah,
Is that
right.
the end of the sentence?
You see, it's like both of them are like looking really eagerly, mouth open at the lot of you after saying that. It's like,
Yeah, all right, but it will cost you 20 gold.
oh, I don't have any money.
Oh, you better call after your friend then.
Oh yeah, the other two shoved it in their mouths and ran away, didn't they?
Oh, if you let us go, we'll get the money back and yeah.
No.
Oh,
Another question about this Blue King. Does he do good? Like, you pay for him? Do you provide actual protection?
oh yeah. He watches over all. He feeds us. He gives us a roof over our heads, and he tells us what to do.
I don't think they were asking you, sweetheart.
Oh,
Yeah, I kind of get that you love the Blue King, worship the ground that he walks on, kind of deal.
yeah. That's more or less it.
Someone who's a bit more neutral and has lived here, looking at Coroner and
The little one
If you
don't seem...
sell it.
Speaking of Coroner, I found all the names and shit.
Yeah.
So, the Blue King, you would also know him by his other name, which is Big Blue.
that was the name we waited for.
And his real name is, or the realest name that you know of him is Blue Belizikar.
That's what we really is.
My guy's fucking realist name.
Well, certainly if you pay the tithe, then your shop isn't going to get its letters stolen from it or be attacked.
I've got to say, your whole monarchy setup's a lot less admirable than I thought it was when I was younger.
Our monarchy is more determined on who the strongest and most powerful is. Not unlike up there, but when the strongest were in power up there, they set the rules in place to make sure that they always stayed that way. We don't exactly have
That's
the moral code to let that happen down here, so it's strongest wins.
disgusting. I'm sorry. I see two kings serving none of the people, or some of the people.
That's how it be in the real world.
Not where I'm from.
Verosi, question. Unless it was Erin who was asking to see the top, and then Erin.
Verosi has done all of the talking so far. Erin has pretty much just been happy to listen along to his friend
Just
and kind
nod.
of go along with it, nodding
So-
away.
Bless.
If I was to take you up top,
Yeah?
how angry would the Blue King be?
Depends if he found out about it, which he will because he knows everything.
Exactly. So, how angry is he going to be?
If I came back, he would probably eat me.
Right.
Yeah.
And if I came back,
Well, it's not. Well, he might eat you too.
okay.
If he knew that you were the one that took me up there, he'd
Right.
probably eat you too.
And I am not exactly inconspicuous, am I?
Well, you were pretty invisible for a while, actually.
I was, but
Yeah.
I have my friend to thank for that.
Once a day, so that's it for today.
But no, I've never actually seen a being like you before.
Okay, well that works out even less in my favour because I'm assuming I've not seen another Loxodon down here.
No. One of the few races you are yet to see in the entirety of Onrath, actually.
Good.
Read.
There aren't any more fairies here. Are
You
there?
haven't seen any fairies down here neither.
Hell yeah.
Brings together,
Me
friend.
and you stand the fuck out.
Yeah.
Should we drag these two in front of the Blue King, maybe?
I don't know. I kind of want to take them up top.
I will insist that does not happen. For a multitude of reasons I'll go through with you another time.
Yeah, all right.
What if I made a deal with you?
Oh.
Alright. What's the deal?
You take me to the surface,
Alright.
just like
I'm going to decline.
it's like it's the same deal I gave them.
Right. I also don't want to be eaten myself, don't want to see you be eaten, and to be quite honest, I don't want to see you eaten by the myriad of flesh-hungry beasts that lurk on the surface.
You let us walk around up there in
Give
this
me-
shit beast.
Give me a deception check at advantage.
Whisper into my mic. I'll take you to the top.
What are you rolling?
Just check to see if they believe.
What check? Reed's making the same check.
Insight.
12.
Okay, we're fine.
You see as like both of their faces just kind of come over in this pall of terrors. What? Others?
The Blue King keeps you safe. Best listen to what he says.
Coroner, I was going to let them get eaten.
Yeah, no. Blue King knows us best. He knows all. Blue King knows us best. He knows all. Thanks, yeah.
You're welcome. Now, get back to... Shall we pay you your tithe? And then I suggest we send them on their way. Let
We
them
were just
know.
sent for the letters.
By the Blue King himself?
I don't ever talk to the Blue King,
Oh.
but, you know.
Well, head on back and let whoever did send you know that we'll be along shortly to sort out the
Pale
tithe.
Master said us.
Pale Master.
Yeah.
Why don't we go with them?
Are you,
Alright.
are you reporting back to the Pale Master now to be like, hey, we didn't get the letters, but we did meet all of these people. This is exactly what they look like. This is what they said the names were, yada, 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 etc., etc.
Yeah, sounds like about what they're asked for, yeah.
Yeah, sounds right. Let's go with you.
Probably go ourselves then.
Cool. As the lot of you begin to head out, we'll cut briefly back to Appleby.
Oh god, yeah. Well, you're still not here.
As
Busking in some trace
There
lines
you go.
somewhere.
He's played his fiddle. Now cut back to the...
unable to, or what means would you use to get back down to the Undermountain? Because there's obviously discs, which will cost you 100 gold pieces. No, actually, it will cost you more than that, because you have to go down quite a few levels. You would know the disc would cost you at least 100 gold pieces, or you could take the potter, or the poth. The poth is the area. You can take the train, essentially, which is known as the snake.
Very good.
Is the snake free?
It is not free. Nothing
Nothing
here
in
is
the city is
nothing
free.
here is free.
This is supposed to... D&D is fantasy, man. Don't give me capitalism.
He's a gold dragon.
Listen, it's a functioning set of public transport. That is the fantasy.
Capitalism will go to our grade.
It would cost you 4 gold pieces to get down
Oh, yeah,
to
baby.
the greens. It doesn't go down to the Undermountain. That's the lift you have to take. That is free.
Can I just skip the whole way there? I've got my foot back.
If you want to
Take
skip,
a while.
you actually can't leave Reverence by walking means. It is a floating platform.
I've got to get the snake.
You've at least the cheapest way to get off of here is the snake.
I'll take the snake a little bit. Yeah.
Take the
Cool.
snake.
Are you going to take it all the way
the
down?
snake.
I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take the snake actually until I'm 3 stops away from there,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna skip the rest of the way.
Nice.
Okay.
Give it a new little test run.
Yeah,
Cool. Nice.
but the whole way there, I'm gonna be fucking playing tunes for people, holding out a little pouch made of leaves.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Asking for tips.
You're like that guy on the New York subway.
I've got my fucking
Oh, the guy
foot
with the
back.
saxophone that gets
Yeah.
up
Look at
and
this.
stops and
Hey.
moves again.
Give me a performance check as
Kick over someone's water bottle.
give me a performance check as you do these ditties on the way down to the greens.
Oh fuck! It's not good. Oh, I mean, I get a
You're
plus
taking
5.
advantage, don't you?
I do have a patron advantage, but do I want to spend it on this? I mean, I'm not going to make another check this
Yeah.
session.
Yeah, we'll get towards the end of the session.
Yeah, I'd probably use it if you want to use it.
I've still got mine. I haven't used it
Cool.
yet.
Let's freaking go. It's worse. It's worse.
Oh no!
Would you believe Patreon?
Thanks, Patreon.
paid
Thanks, Patreon.
to fail?
You screwed him.
Screwed himself.
It was a 10.
It was a 10. Cool. You make a modest 2 gold as you are traveling
Yeah, that's
on the
train ticket.
on the snake down through. You get a pretty good view as this thing floats down and kind of snakes around the Reverence district, attaching back to solid ground and the rails as it joins at the northern end of Tavern Town. You see a raucous district your left-hand side, as at the top you see the very fancy bars of North Tavern Town. As you head down the mountain, down through southern Tavern Town, you see the rougher area as kind of you see drunken kind of escapades going on out of the window. Eventually you are coming down towards the greens and you stop there, getting off at the kind of first stop of the greens, and you skip your way across to the elevator leading you down into the Undermountain.
Yeah.
It's free to go down as you are locked in by the Dragonborn guard, and this lift descends you once again. Well, you see for probably one of the first times, I'm not sure if you would have been here before in your travels, but one of the first times you see this cityscape glowing out of the gloom before you as you descend, these bioluminescent orbs hanging from this kind of sinuous mass, all hanging from the ceiling, lighting this city. And one thing you notice with these things is as it's starting to become more of a dusk on the outside, you actually do notice these are slowly dimming too as this elevator makes its progress down. As you think by some magic of the Dragon King, these hanging orbs simulate a day and night cycle, much in the same way that the sun obviously would.
They're like the leaf that was sort of growing in like almost a cone on Applebee's head.
I forgot about the leaf.
Yeah, as we start to like phase towards the end of the
could
day,
you?
it like
I'd
begins to
lost sleep over
fold
it.
out into like a sort of 3-pronged leaf. And the other 2 prongs are like sort of also forming their own cones. So it's like a little on Applebee's head.
Like 3 leafy cone.
Yeah, three leafy cone just popping out of.
As you
out of the head.
descend down into the Undermountain, you kind of have a bit of a wander around, and really remarkably, you just stumble into your friend stood outside what appears to be a doctor's
chances.
office that has the word Dr. Gorel on the signage out front. You see your friends here with these 2 tied up kobolds standing in front of them, as you all see Appleby just kind of casually skip into view from down one of the dark alleyways.
With the new foot, does that have a limp?
No limp at all. You are walking perfectly. The only thing you can hear is a slight clack as the
Slight crunchy
left
noise.
foot hits the floor as a kind of sound of wood on stone.
Well, I
Wanna
do
come meet the Pale
apologise.
Master?
The Peel Master. Yeah.
Really good
I
with
don't know if he's
buckets.
pale. I was about to say I don't know if he's pale or good with buckets. You took the words right out of my
God
mouth.
damn it. This party
You remind
shares a
me of
singular
Shadow.
brain cell.
No. That's another campaign.
You had your hand up, sorry.
My question was, does Appleby have a limp?
Oh, cool.
Oh, Erin, hi. How you doing?
Oh, hey, Appleby.
Yep, that happened.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you 2 acquainted?
Oh, yeah, he once performed down here.
Ah,
Who's this guy? I'm gesturing to what's his name? Vincenzo.
That's Verosi. He's
Varusi.
my best mate.
How you doing, Varusi?
We met 3 days ago.
I just tried to rob Coroner.
Oh, well then I should act more hostile.
Oh, we've kind of sorted it, to be honest.
Yeah, we're best
You want
mates
your foot
now.
back? Yeah.
Yes! Yes! Look
Yeah,
at my
looking
new
good, my
foot! And then he just sort of like gets up on one foot and just does a bunch of
Little
stupid
dance.
Can I have a look?
gestury shit. Yeah, just he
Begins to like gnaw on the wood as soon as it goes close.
Stop that. Or I'll torture you. That's what torturers say, right?
You're doing great.
Thanks.
I'll go to Coroner and read. So I'll be like, where did wheeling come from? And why is he half dressed?
That's a shirt on inside out.
I'm just more concerned why it's only the top half.
It's totally shirt copy.
They start gnawing.
No.
No,
Not canon.
drawing the line there.
If we let you out of this net, will you take us to your pale master?
Yeah.
Is he really pale or is he just good with buckets?
Yeah, he's like he's a slightly different colour to us.
I just
He
want
does
to-
talk a big bucket game though.
Oh yeah, massive buckets.
I'm gonna.
He's
roll,
got like a
I
just
should we do the
insight.
same. Yeah, insight checking to see whether they're actually going to take us or if
Yeah.
they're just going to scatter.
Okay,
Roll for it.
14.
20.
You pretty confidently believe that is their intent.
What, to
What, to
scatter?
No, to
take
take you
us.
to the Pale Master.
Caro, I cannot take credit for that because like literally moments ago, both Dan and Callum made the joke.
I was they might be behind enough that is what they're
Yeah.
commenting.
Oh, okay, I really sincerely hope so because if they think that I made that joke, but my joke was that it had already been said. Never mind.
So, you
Take
untying
us to
these
your leader.
two kobolds?
Yeah.
summon a mage hand and just keep one on the shoulder of, we'll say, was it Varenzo?
Verosi.
He was the one who was doing all the talking.
Vienna.
Yeah, in our fucking fair Verona.
So you kind of you untie them. You kind of like see as you're beginning to untie them, they kind of like try and nibble the rope a little bit more and.
Hey, no need for that.
Sort of like when you're pulling something next to a cat, even if they're not supposed to like attack
It's
it,
just
they
the
kind
motion,
of
like-
they really like are hyper fixated on that, and like they kind of like keep going back to it as the rope goes away.
Gently untangle them. Come on, that's enough now.
They still hold hands.
Oh, the two of them.
Yeah.
Aw.
Seeing that
They're best friends. They've known each other 3 days.
seeing that Quinn is quite like alert about them, we would just float over and be like, "Are we concerned about them running away or doing anything?"
They try to rob us, or
I could.
Felcher.
I've got an idea to like
Goreldo.
distract them a little bit and sort of keep them tame. You know, you want to float over. Hey guys, I don't know if you've noticed when I fly, there's like little sparks coming off me.
Yeah.
Those are pretty valuable. I think the Blue King would really like them. So you can just try and catch them because they only work when I'm in a good mood and I'm flying.
Okay. Yeah. How much? Where can I sell them?
Just give it to the Blue King, surely.
Okay.
So yeah, just follow me. Well, and also tell me which way to go.
What? Yeah. Can we get our stuff first? You can kind of like see him gesturing over to the
Well, don't go too far.
the tool that's on the wrench that's on the ground and this sling that's also been dropped.
You could have
I pick them up and I put them in my pocket. And I say, y'all can have these back. You have your toys back once you've done as you're told.
They both give you like the biggest puppy dog eyes ever.
Oh, I don't. Y'all very cute, but I don't give a shit. Come on, let's go.
What about that? Over
Just
there?
like standing, looming over both of them, like hands on our hips, like, come on now.
Can we grab that as well? And you see them both gesture towards the O.
No,
that's been cracked
that
off
ain't
the ground.
yours.
Oh.
We've been through. That's the whole problem that you found yourself in.
Well, it's not connected anymore, so fair game.
No,
No.
it's mine.
Okay, let's go.
Come on.
Cool. Yeah, the idea of
Yeah.
the sparks was just to stop them getting distracted by other shiny things around.
Yeah, just give me a performance check to see how well you can
How well you
entice.
sparkle.
How well you can, pied these kobolds with your pipering. Yeah.
I was about to.
Yeah, about to question it.
Yeah.
It always comes back around.
12?
12? Okay. Cool. You see they get bored of the sparks pretty quickly
I
as
will
you
be
kind of.
watching them like a hawk anyway.
I tried. I'm
But you-
sorry.
The rope will be ready. If they try and make a run for it, I will be wrangling them again.
Yeah, you kind of just.
I'm just like walking along behind them, just like twirling the rope, fully expecting them to try and make a scramble for it at some point.
Also, yeah, Quinn, you keep that mage hand on Verosi's shoulder, and you do see as they're kind of like going for the sparks, you kind of like can't lift his arm so good on that side, and you do feel like this is having some impact on this quite small creature as you're kind of like pushing him
How
and kind
tall
of
are they?
like.
They're only like.
They are about
Something
3
like
foot
3 foot
taller
tall.
piece,
Okay.
so they're coming up to sort of most of your waist heights.
Radio's kneecaps.
But much, yes. Rodeo's kneecaps, Shadow's kneecaps, and the rest of your waist.
Reed comes up to their kneecaps.
And yeah, Reed comes up to
They
like,
are
yeah.
6 times my height.
Yeah.
As we begin to walk off, I'm going to put the hood up, slink back, and put the L and the O just inside the doctor's office.
Cool.
and
Good idea.
catch
I
up
wasn't going
with
to
the
take
group.
those with
You
us.
see as Goreldo, thank you very much there. I'll get this fixed up then.
Nice.
But before we leave, I'll quietly say to Goreldo, the Blue King, is he the one that's onto you?
We'll talk about that later.
I'm going to go...
It's not the Blue King.
Okay, so if I explain the name confusion and pay your tithe, is that going to be an issue for you, or shall we pretend that you're new? Because I'm a little bit recognisable.
Okay, no, we'll pretend that I'm new and that I killed Felcher and I took you as loot.
All right, sounds good.
Great.
I would form allegiance to whoever murdered you. Anyway, see you later. And
Shadow's ears perk up.
You want to own a coroner?
Yeah. That sounds great.
Kind of like see his Felcher there, kind of
like that.
sweeps the bolts into their
well, who is
doctor's
she?
surgery as the lot of you are led into the warren of alleyways that is the Undermountain by these two kobolds who kind of like do indeed actually hold hands together as they kind of stroll and saunter before you. Feeling pretty, you see as they walk through this city with quite a lot of confidence. They seem to have a bit of swagger as they're going through these streets. And actually, as people kind of catch eyes onto these two kobolds, you see as doors close, like curtains, like kind of are drawn shut as these two kobolds that are leading your gang through the Undermountain seem to have some kind of hesitant respect from the people down here, as well as some manner of fear. As these agents of the Blue King lead you in deeper and further into the Undermountain. You do feel as you are heading downwards as they're taking you in here, and soon as you're led through these alleys, you feel the kind of oppressive sense that the buildings are really closing in around you. You can no longer see up and see the bioluminescent orbs above you as you are led deeper and deeper here. The only things lighting your way are the occasional candles, lanterns, and neon signs as you're passing through these dark streets of the Undermountain. Yes.
With Coroner having lived here for
Yes.
probably a couple of decades, what's their sort of bearing on how fucked we are?
Aren't you like 3?
No,
Yeah, it's been about 2 years since you've lived here, I think.
no.
I think so.
I'm a bit older.
Okay.
We'll check it later.
Yeah, it's been a few years at the very least.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, let's hit it.
Just give me a straight wisdom check.
Pretty good. That is a 18.
18?
And Coroner's 12.
Coroner's 12. Okay, yeah, so you would have been here for, quite some time.
Probably,
11
at least
years
10
or so.
years, yeah.
As you're kind of descending in, you are beginning to feel a little bit anxious. You probably wouldn't have ever been to the Dragon's Head, being that it is the kind of head of the mob kind of dealings in the Undermountain, and from where they're taking you, it does appear that you are definitely headed in that direction. You would also know that the Blue King has taken this place pretty much by force from the previous gangs that used to have control here. The Blue King has been in control the whole time. You have personally lived down in the Undermountain, though, and you know that he keeps other gangs in line by destroying them. So you
They
would
can't stay in line if there is no line.
exactly.
What the fuck is the point in Gelder?
You feel
That's his wife.
trepidatious about this journey as you're heading seemingly towards the Dragon's Head.
I'm going to be hood up,
Yep.
trunk inside, robes.
Cool.
Keeping it
Hanging back, stealthing at all?
Staying in eye line of the group.
Okay.
But yeah.
Give me a stealth check as you hang back.
And making a mental note of the way back and the way to the elevator.
Cool.
Natural 20.
Natural 20,
Yes.
nice. As you, in your pretty much the prime place for you to stealth, as you are enveloped by the shadows of the Undermountain, as you hang back from the group a bit and simply vanish into the darkness. You all look around for Shadow as they, you see them kind of put their hood up of their, you should have also had that advantage, I believe, because you have a Cloak of Elvenkind, I think.
Legendary? No.
Nah, that was a 6.
As you just meld into the shadows here and are just no more as the A lot of you look around. The only one who would have a chance would be Coroner, but I'd say you're pretty intent on your situation.
Yeah,
So
you're preoccupied, aren't
with that nat 20, you also just have lost track of shadows. They meld into their namesake. And I think that's where we'll leave it for today because we're getting quite close to our closing time. I thought we said 10. But we could keep going on.
Are we all happy to go?
I can go a little longer.
I think you go for a
Keep
little
going for a little longer? Cool, okay. Fine by me. As we head deeper into the Undermountain through these claustrophobic streets, as you do feel them closing more and more in, Coroner, you're aware that you're getting very close to the Dragon's Head now, as these two kobolds seem to be kind of ushering in this kind of new attitude of excitement there. They're both getting quite like excitable and kind of like looking back and forth to one another as they kind of get closer and closer back to their home. You all see around you as the streets here are almost humming with this kind of latent electricity. Everything you touch here feels like static, and you kind of anytime you kind of lean on a wall or touch anything with your exposed skin, you kind of get the shock of static. And you actually see between some of the buildings and the kind of like protrusions on top of them, you actually see lightning bolts begin to jump between the kind of like metal portions of this roof as you feel this kind of electrical charge just flowing through the air of this region of the Undermountain.
No one touch me.
Yeah, Coroner, you actually feel pretty good
I'm
down
feeling
here.
great.
You kind of like
your batteries are fully charged
yeah,
for the
you're
last
humming.
2 many years.
Everything that would glow on you is glowing to a slightly brighter luminescence as you see kind of like as Coroner like turns to look at any of you, you see as their eyes just like fuck, I'm blinding you.
As we're walking down, I will quietly say to her, like, please, I beg of you, don't make this situation any worse than it has to be. This man kind of is, yes, the ruler of everything I've ever held dear, and he will take it away from me.
No. We're only meeting the bucket guy.
Yes, but he talks to the Blue King, so let's just not. Let's all make friends. Let's all be like our friend Reed. Let's only make friends down here tonight.
I've been taught how to conduct myself around royalty.
Good. But this isn't the kind of royalty you are used to.
It's not royalty at all, then.
No, it's not. It's self-imposed, and he will not be very impressed if you go about it like in a noble fashion. He looks down on manners and nobility, if he's anything like the stories I've heard.
Oh, if he looks down on manners, then who looks down on manners?
People who think themselves above them, just please don't get everyone I love killed.
Okay, so
I think you're blowing that out of proportion. I think it'll be fine.
he looks down on manners, so we show up and we immediately impose.
Just walking in like.
Cause him some massive inconvenience. We spill root juice on his nice flags. Let's just make the guy generally uncomfortable. All right, folks. I think we can manage that. Do you think you can do that?
I don't think that was the vibe that Coroner was going after either. I think maybe Coroner just meant don't do anything. Maybe don't say
Don't do anything.
No, I am addressing the group at large. Please trust the local. Maybe don't do anything. Besides, it sounds like these young'uns ain't taking us to the king just yet. They're taking us to their boss. But regardless, sounds like scary people down here with a lot of power. We'll talk fast and exchange information. So maybe we should all be on our best behavior.
Verosi is the Pale Master a kobold?
No. Bigger chap than me. Yeah.
Like Dragonborn?
Yeah, sort of like you, yeah.
Are we sort of? Oh, okay.
Blue.
Ish.
Alright.
I'm going to assume a pale blue.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out. Based just on the sheer amount of electricity that's around,
Yeah.
because I'm a bronze dragonborn, would I be able to recognize it as like being from a dragon.
Just give me a check adding any of your. You could add either intelligence or wisdom to this.
Okay.
Have an advantage too, actually, because
Okay.
your
Wow,
draconic
go on,
ancestry.
Oh no, that was the same. 14.
You do feel a draconic energy here in this lightning, and you
Yeah.
can see just from having been in the Golden Tooth and feeling the effects of a gold dragon's lair, and now being down here and getting closer to what you assume to be a blue dragon's home, you think this might be some effect of the blue dragon taking
Alright, okay.
permanent residence here.
I figured as much, that she might be able to recognise the kind of the static sensation a little bit.
Yeah, and you actually see
her like she as they get closer, I guess, as Coroner starts to glow, her kind of instinctively, like her frills stand up on end, or like what's left of them
nice, yeah.
stand up on end a little bit more, and she just
It's that sort of static you
not-
can feel in your teeth as well. You
yeah,
can,
yeah,
like-
yeah. It's not necessarily like an unpleasant feeling, but it does kind of put her on edge a little bit more, I guess, because it's a feeling that she hasn't felt in a very long time. So she's kind of
It's
very aware of
certainly jarring
it
compared
makes her
to.
feel something.
It's certainly jarring compared to the good feeling that you get when you're in the Golden Tooth. This is definitely different to that. You do feel more on edge. You feel like on the verge of wanting to do something. You feel like energized almost, but in a weird way that isn't necessarily like of your own volition.
Yeah. Her frills are up, and she's kind of probably almost like involuntarily like pulling her lips back a little bit so that her teeth are kind of just on display a bit more than usual.
You see as well as Ariane just kind of places their hand to this metal wall, and you see as some of the energy just flows into their form, and you see as he kind of, yeah, that's the stuff. And you kind of see as like they kind of do this, just kind of like they are almost like when you are running your hand along like a fence or a gate, as you kind of like hear it go. They're kind of doing that, but with the static electricity in this place, they're using it to kind of like almost empower them and excite themselves up as they are leading you closer and closer. Now you feel as this electricity gets more and more violent as you get closer and closer. The buildings begin to thin out here as well as you, Coroner, would get towards where you know the Dragon's Head pub to be, as instead of being quite as claustrophobic as it was before, you begin to open out into a larger part of the Undermountain. Yes.
Just hearing the conversation about like this being a sensitive situation where we probably need to be not annoying people.
Yeah.
Reed like sort of stiffens a little bit and sort of puts on a much more serious face, and we'll just float over to Appleby and be like, Appleby, weird question. Can I have a little bit of your soil?
I mean, it's not that. Doesn't quite work like that. But I mean, and I'll just hold my hand out to you.
Reed will attempt to just scoop up a little bit of the soil.
You can't like scoop any off, but as you kind of run your hand across it, certainly gets muddy.
Okay, cool. They'll then spit on their hands, rub it together, and then slick it through their top fin, and then just draw like some like markings on their head that like they would wear at like ceremonies and things like that.
Cool.
Nice. They would just
Have a point of inspiration for that one.
Yeah.
So from everybody else's perspective, you've just gotten yourself really messy.
Right, so
like, it's a relatively
Appleby,
delicate pattern.
Oh, okay. So it's not literally
But
just
from
like
distance,
you've
it
gone-
just looks like mud on your
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
It's just so
Right,
small.
Reed's lost their mind.
You've just drawn some, like,
They've
Kit
not
Kat whiskers
experienced
in your face.
electricity before, and it has fried their brain.
Oh, a single zap would kill you. Oh my god. Be like a fly in one of those bug zapper lamps.
Are like sparks properly flying out that we're having to dodge, or
It's nothing that's been dangerous to you so far.
It's not
Most of
attacking
the
us, it's just kind of vibes.
Most of the arcs of pure lightning have been going overhead from building to building. You can see most places here have metal roofs of some kind, and this is certainly conducting the kind of power that is here. They seem to be jumping from roof to roof. So you think if you're on the roofs, possibly, you'd have to be dodging these bolts, but down on the ground level where it's kind of the stone floor, seem to be all right down here.
okay, cool.
Appleby is going to ask, who are we thinking is going to do the majority of the talking with the Blue King?
Oh, we ain't.
Or with the
we ain't
pail,
gone-
with the pail,
Yeah,
with
we ain't
the
gone to the
pail.
Blue King just yet. Hopefully, we
Pale,
won't have
pale,
to
pale.
if this goes well.
Happy to.
I mean, I don't want to push you forward onto the line, but as the local who has the best understanding of how things work around here, you might be best suited for getting us in and out as efficiently as possible.
I'll do my best.
I appreciate this is not the situation you want to find yourself
I'm
in.
a tad on edge.
And
but
I would love to get you out safely as soon as we can without causing any trouble.
Thank you
So
kindly.
I will have your back. Don't you worry. We got your back.
Thank you, Rodeo.
Can
Thank
I
you all.
bardically inspire more than one person at a time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Separate castings.
Separate bonus actions to do so, but in the
We're
walk
not
over
in
here,
combat, so
I've
you
got
can certainly.
2 left. I think I did one earlier in the day. I had that marked down, so I'll just use my remaining 2 and sort of gather Coroner and Quinn into like something of a huddle, and sort of like
What's
get them
this?
both muddy.
What's going on?
bring them a little bit close, and I'll go.
That's what Roses do.
Remember, when speaking to the Blue King, think of this. A piece of wisdom bestowed upon me from a bird not too long ago. He said,
You, Coroner, as
and then Appleby will sort of go, good talk, and walk away.
as
Speaking of birds, real quick, where's been Beaky Pete?
Oh, with me.
just about to mention, as Appleby makes that noise, Beaky Pete kind of like looks around for the source of this bird noise. As you see that they become quite agitated on your shoulder, looking for this kind of the
he said
source of
something
bird
pretty
noise.
intense.
Is that another D6 bardic inspiration?
Yeah, it's a D6
Thank
bardic
you very much.
inspiration.
It's
to
amazing.
Is that what can that be used on? Anything.
Ability checks, saving throws,
Classic.
Lasts for 10 Action. minutes.
Nice.
attacks. Yep.
Oh yeah, I do that obviously right before we're going to speak
Cool.
to this person. I wouldn't do it like fucking ages before, so it's a waste.
Speaking of, as you are getting to this area where the buildings begin to thin out, the claustrophobic, kind of all-encompassing buildings seem to thin out, and you can see the ceiling of the cavern far in the distance above you with these orbs hanging down, providing some decent light now as you are met with a interesting sight, to say the least. Cleared out in a round courtyard in the middle of all these buildings. Nothing built attached to it. It is unlike almost any other building you've seen here in the sense that there are no other protrusions or other buildings built off it. You see a round, perfectly round building, kind of squat. All seems to be one level. This circular building in the middle of this circular courtyard with this large orb on top of seemingly some kind of metal, some kind of silvered metal with these sparks of lightning that are just electrocuting up into the sky. Some of them reach off onto the roofs of these surrounding buildings that are not attached to it, but they kind of leap 30 feet or so onto the nearest buildings. As this giant sphere, probably about 10 foot in diameter on top of this building, just seems to be arcing lightning out into the sky here, as you can see the Dragon's Head pub before you, this squat round building that seems to be actually built of the same stone that the cavern was originally carved out of, as it matches the kind of the hue of the floors and the walls here perfectly, as this kind of squat round building protrudes out of this courtyard surrounded by this one wide road.
Looks like it's been here like a good long time now.
This looks like an old
An
building.
original
Yeah, it's almost like it's part of the rock. Like when they carved out this Undermountain, this was
They
a building
kept that there.
rather than that was built up out of it. This was sort of carved into it as part of the Undermountain.
and it's been untouched, like unlike all the well, not untouched, but I mean like not adapted in any way, like the other one you said. Like
Give me a perception check. There's certainly no other like ragtag buildings or anything built out of it. Like a lot of the other buildings here have been like built on top of other ones.
it's only an 8.
It's only an 8? Yeah, you're not quite sure, but the newest part of this, if any of it wasn't original, appears to be this metal orb that is kind of like attached to the roof here that's spraying out these lightning bolts into the sky. So you're all greeted with this sight. It's about a 20-foot walk up to the door as you emerge out from this alleyway. The two kobolds begin to hurriedly move on over to this kind of primary entrance that you can all see from this distance is flanked by two quite burly dragonborn, blue dragonborn figures kind of on either side of the door with their arms folded. And as they kind of like spot the group of you coming out of an alley, you see as they instantly kind of lock eyes with the group of you. And especially seeing as these kind of like two kobolds are running forward. Between them as well, you you can see a door that appears to be wreathed in lightning bolts. Kind of instead of a door at all, it's an open hatch, rectangular hatch as you'd expect from a doorway, but lightning bolts just seem to be flickering constantly across this doorway.
Very sick.
Nice. Is my stealth still rolling on?
Yes, it would, and they do not see you.
I'm gonna stick to the shadows as much as I can, and try and just do once around the building to look for any other exits.
Cool. As you do so, you go around the building pretty easy with your stealth roll to avoid other people. There aren't many people on the street here in this part of town. And you do see one other entrance at the back. It appears to be this kind of metal door that doesn't seem to have a handle on it from this side, but you do see that there is a door out on this back, almost opposite where the front door was.
Using the charcoal that I commandeered from Quinn, I'm going to crush a small little bit of it in one of my hands. And just leave a handprint on not on the door, but to the side of it.
Okay, cool.
And just leave that there, and then work my way back round to the group.
Cool, yeah, you do so.
Hello?
What are you here for?
I'm here on behalf of Dr. Goreldo, who recently moved in and would like to pay tribute and tithe to the Blue King.
Tribute and tithe to the Blue King. Why didn't you say so? I know her.
I did.
Who are your friends here?
Newcomers in town. They are my friends, something, acquaintances.
Patience.
Yeah. That are joining me on this venture, so they might also meet the Blue King.
Meet the Blue King? You gotta be fucking joking.
Say draconic. Also to pay a tithe, and also help cover my friend here.
Paying the tithes, all right, but you won't see the king.
Don't expect to. We're actually here to see the Pale Master.
Right. And who are these two little buggers with you?
Well, we caught them robbing, actually. And then for a little bit of a stern talking to, we asked to see the Pale Master.
They were robbing from Dr. Goreldo, who we are aware has yet to pay his tithes, which is why we've been sent quite so promptly.
Well, I know fucking nothing about that, so you best see the Pale Master then. Go on then, step inside.
Step through.
Right.
You probably hear this all the time, but is he just really pale or just good with buckets?
This guy just stares at you.
Right, we'll go on through.
Grab Appleby and shove him through.
Did you say they gesture to this lightning doorway?
Yeah, cool. I'll step on through.
Cool, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
Step
good.
Oh, did I not have to do that?
Sorry, I hadn't counted you as going through yet, but yeah.
Yeah,
Give me a dexterity saving throw as you step on through.
I continue my luck of rolling. That's a 9.
That's a 9. Cool. You take 5 points of lightning damage as you go through the door.
Yeah, I'll take it. The ticket we all have to do this as you
Yep, if you want to go through, roll your dex saves.
5 points.
5 points of damage.
Oh, fuck me. I forgot how low my health is.
Number 2, baby!
I'm down to 9.
Nasty little 20 here.
Nasty 20, you pass and will take half, so that is going to be 3 damage. Are you, vulnerable to lightning as a Warforged?
No,
it's fire, isn't it?
I think, as
that
canon
get
goes, Warforged aren't
That was the
electric based.
Yeah, that was also the Homebrew that we
Is that
used,
the old
I think.
version?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Forged.
Yeah, I have advantage on poison saves, resistance to poison damage, I'm immune to disease, and can't be put to sleep. That's the whole.
Nice. We'll go around the table for the rest. Read.
17.
17, you also pass, take half. That's going to be 2 damage to you.
18.
18, that's a pass. You take 2 damage as well.
Yes,
Shadow?
I used my fantasy animal vegan advantage and got 14.
14, just a pass. So you take 1 damage.
Thanks very much, Fantasy Animal Vegan.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Rodeo?
I got a 19.
Also a pass, so take half damage. Another 1 damage there.
I am also resistant to lightning damage anyway.
Cool. So it'll still just be 1 damage.
Cool. I have a feeling it might be useful in this area.
It could be useful in this area. It could be very useful. As you all step through this lightning wreath door, briefly your vision is blinded by this white-blue light of the lightning as you head into the dragon's head, and you are all met with a very blue sight before you. The lighting in here is blue, and you see a blue-wreathed, smoky lounge set out before you with plush leather and velvet seats all in blue, in hues of blue, as you see little booth areas, a bar that is completely made of this shining blue metal. You see blue bottles of liquor all racked behind the shelf as you see waiters in blue suits going around and tending to what appears to be burly dragonborn in these kind of dark blue navy suits as they are sitting around drinking, smoking these blue cigars as
And
they are
everything is.
waiting for that. As indeed everything is blue down in the Dragon's Head bar. As you are swathed in this hue of blue, you kind of look around. Immediately, one of these blue-clad waiters, a dragonborn, comes up to you, also a blue dragonborn, with this kind of like, what's your business here?
Pale-master, please.
Pale-master. Yes, he's currently busy, but if you take a seat, he'll be with you shortly. See, this dragonborn, she leads you towards one of the kind of booths, not one of the fancy ones, and certainly not one near anyone else that appears to be kind of talking in a group. And in fact, as you kind of make your way across this bar, you can see a lot of eyes on you, as you are certainly an uncommon sight in this bar. And in fact, as
An uncommon sight anywhere.
as you all walked in, there was kind of that brief hush as the bar kind of all
As
turned.
we find the one creaky floorboard in this whole saloon, yeah, I'm used to it.
As the hubbub is just kind of like
The
beginning
tumbleweed
to
follows me in.
the hubbub is beginning to return as you
Yeah.
as you step into your booth, and kind of you do that awkward shuffle where you all get around into the booth. And this it's drinks, anyone?
Do you know how long he'll be?
Shouldn't be more than a couple of minutes. He's just dealing with it. Something in the back.
Where did the two little kobolds go? As soon as we got in through the door, I assume they came with us.
They dashed through
They're long
before
gone.
all of you guys.
They scrambled
Give me a
away.
perception check. See if you can spot them down here in the blue light. Anyone can do this.
Oh yeah, they'll blend in perfectly, won't they? That's the 10 for me.
Oh, nice.
Oh, my eyes are still adjusting.
Yeah.
22.
Oh yeah,
21.
someone's here.
21. You want
I'm
to go
not
for it?
rolling.
This is a
Not rolling?
fantastic
Cool.
time to learn that Rodeo is actually colourblind.
Cool. The two of you spot as they kind of like go off into what appears to be a small hatch in one side of the bar. You see as Verosi's holding it open as Erin dives down into this hatch. Verosi jumps in after him and closes it behind him.
Okay.
Nope, they're long gone.
They live in there.
Bye, kids.
Yeah, Coroner, you can actually hear with your passive perception this kind of scrabbling sound from underneath you.
Yeah.
Oh, they live in the floors.
A few.
There's a glass floor section somewhere in the bar, and you can
Oh,
see
like an
them in
aquarium.
orange,
You
yeah.
just see them like in a zoo.
Scrambling, yeah.
Was there any drinks I could
Like
get
with the
the lot of you?
meerkats.
I'm good.
No, we can wait.
I don't think we're sticking around long enough for it to warrant.
I'm good, thank you. Yeah,
What-
no, I'm alright.
What would be like a decent tip? Because like I know we just do gold, so like is 3 gold like
3 gold would
like,
be
3 gold an insult or
3 gold would be seen as a decent amount of money to
Cool.
most people down here.
give her 3 gold and just be like, tell him it's quite as quick he is. If you can see us.
Snatches up this 3 gold and kind of like rubs it between her fingers and kind of pockets it into the front of her apron. I'll be right back.
Quick is a thing. Do people say that?
Yeah.
I say
do
it
now.
all the time, but I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, you say a lot of things.
Quinn,
all
this
the time.
place is a bit rough and tumble. Are you going to be alright not fucking up?
Oh, I should be fine. I look like Waylon. Sound like Waylon.
You see, as a few moments pass, and
Why are you asking? Sorry. Why are you asking if Quinn's gonna fuck up? Reed is right there, and I'm fucking. Are you joking?
At least least this party's got some self-awareness.
Oh, I thought we'd all agreed to be quiet and let those two do the talking.
Yeah, I agree a lot of things, mate. Okay. Are the kobolds in the floor? Sorry, no, back to you.
As a few moments pass and this waitress comes back up to you, he'll be right with you. And she heads off. A few more moments pass, and you see as an individual, quite unlike a lot of the other figures in this room, begins to stroll through as he pushes through a doorway from a room that, from your perimeter of this building, really shouldn't exist. The kind of circular nature of this building didn't really allow for off-rooms, and you can see it now that you're inside this kind of like in this big circular bar space. There shouldn't be any rooms that this person has just come from, but nevertheless, you see as they push out from a door at the other side of this circular room, look around, they kind of like instantly lock onto the lot of you guys, being that you are quite clearly outsiders here. And you all see this pale blue dragonborn, almost like a gradient of white to blue going across their features as they stroll on towards you, flanked by two other individuals who are also quite unlike anything you have seen before. They appear to be humanoid in certain aspects. Certainly one definitely has a human head and the other has an elfish head. But you can see bursting out of their dark blue navy suits is draconic limbs out of the one side of this human man's kind of torso. You see, instead of a human arm tearing out of the sleeve, you see this draconic arm that's kind of curled up around them, far too long for his human form, so he keeps it kind of curled to one side, as well as the leg on that same side seems to be this muscled draconic form, both blue in scale and aspect. And this wood elf creature, you see as kind of their chest is almost bloody with these scales that are bursting out through their chest. And you also see one of their hands has been replaced with this draconic like talon on this one side, as you see these aberrations of dragon flesh flanking this blue-white figure that strolls towards you. All three of them in as much suit as they can wear. This blue-white figure as well isn't tall, but you do see they are incredibly wide, squat figure, probably only about 5 foot tall, but densely muscled and almost as wide as they are tall, as they stroll through this bar to the lot of you, almost just head above the table, as this white-blue dragonborn kind of looks at the lot of you and says, "All right then, what are you here for?"
Hello, I'm here on behalf of Dr. What's his fucking name?
Goreldo.
Dr. Goreldo. He's just moved into the building that used to be owned by Dr. Felcher, and he has yet to pay tithes, so I'm here to show he is compliant with the Blue King.
You see as he clicks his fingers, and one of the kind of aberrations reaches his draconic arm kind of into one of their pockets and pulls out this kind of like check kind of notepad and hands it up to the Pale Master. And he kind of grabs it and kind of, you see as he flicks through some of the pages. Dr. Felcher. Dr. Felcher. Dead, you say?
Dead, yes, I'm afraid.
Couldn't save himself, could he? You kind of see as he crosses out that part on the notepad. What did you say the new cap's name was?
Goreldo. He's quite insistent on taking up where Felcher left off in serving the Undercity as best he can. He's also a doctor. It's very coincidental. Don't worry about it.
Gave me a physical this morning.
Recommend it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Very thorough.
Maybe I'll pop him a visit myself. Goreldo, was it?
I'll say draconic. Ask him to trim his nails next time, though.
I like you.
I like you.
Oh, don't.
Well, this Goreldo will have to pay his initial fees.
Of course.
So, how much money is he making from this venture right now?
He is still running this as a free clinic, so there's not a huge amount of roll-in. Most of, from what I can tell, his payment comes from coin donations from those that he does help, usually in raw goods of food and supplies rather than financial gain.
Well, as he's not making much money then.
I'm happy to make a donation on his behalf, of course. It's a free clinic after all, and if this would see some good graces done for Mr. or Dr. Goreldo, then we consider it my payment for looking me over and cleaning me out.
I'll tell you later.
200 gold pieces now. And I'll reduce the gold fees from 50% of his earnings to 20%.
Well,
If not, it would be the standard 100 gold now. And I'll take 50% of the coin he gets, what little of it he gets.
50% of nothing's nothing. 20%
It says there's
nothing's
coin
nothing.
donations, that's why the rate's so high. If he's not making a lot, we need to take a bigger cut.
I can pay 100 of that if you want to.
Likewise.
Right. 200 gold.
Kind of see his kind of starts writing some notes down on this this transaction.
So,
Lovely job.
would it be possible to have a chat with you in private?
We are private here.
Look around to a bar that's full of people? Question mark. How full is it?
It's like there's a few groups. I'd say there's 10 to 15 other people in this bar. Everyone here either works for me or the Blue King, who I work for. This is about as private as you'll get.
I've heard everyone works for the Blue King.
Everyone's owned by the Blue King down here.
Funny thing. But yeah, I want to, he seems a person to be making connections with, and I just want to know a little bit more about it. Maybe we could come to an agreement, and I'll just flash a slight adult dragon silver scale from my bag and tuck it back in.
Cool. Give me a persuasion check at advantage.
Let's have that. Cool. That makes it pretty good. 30-20.
30-20. What kind of work are you interested in?
Well, I used to torture, but those days are behind me.
Nice.
You're such a method actor. I love
I
it.
couldn't quite stomach it anymore. But our jobs, really. We're a bit of a loose crew. If you need anything a bit bigger done, but anything that could earn good favour, you know.
There's something I think you could do for me.
I'm all ears, beautiful.
There's some... How should I put this? Do-gooders.
Oh,
Vigilantes.
bloody do-gooders, eh?
That are...
Radio hides a sheriff's badge.
They're plaguing the Undermountain and disrupting some of the Blue King's activities. Activities we'd rather not were disrupted, if you catch my meaning. This group, they call themselves the Watch Pack. Bring their heads to me, and I'll make sure you get the Blue King's favour.
How many of them are there?
We know of 3.
What will they go against the Blue King?
They have, let's say, differing values on how a city should be managed.
Do-gooders. Right, okay.
And they're clearly combat experienced. You don't exactly have weak boys amongst your weak boys, girls, theys and thems.
You kind of see as these 2 dragon aberrants kind of like raise up to their full height as you see their kind of hunched forms begin to exaggerate. And you see that this elvish lady as well begins to kind of extend outwards, and you can see her torso is almost stretched by this kind of draconic fusion of skin that has been seemed to be placed on her. And you see as kind of like her form almost unwraps into this almost 8 foot tall kind of draconic aspect as you see these kind of scales pushing through her skin. No, not exactly weak. Boys, girls, theys, thems, as you say.
So yeah, they must be either quite crafty, quite quick, or strong. Or lucky.
They've been clever. Is what they've been. They've been taking our, let's say, our weaker shipments and things like that, ambushing them and redistributing the wealth in a way that I don't think the Blue King quite appreciates.
You ever heard of Robin Hood?
Nah.
No, fair enough. Some guy who steals from the rich, gives to the poor or some shit like that.
Sounds like a bastard.
Nice to meet you. They call me Waylon Whalen.
You can call me Keldroth.
Keldroth.
I'm from there.
Think you're thinking of Kerdroth.
Oh, no, Pondroth.
I'll give his hand a squeeze and also give him a wink.
Cool. Give me a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Still pretty damn good.
Dirty 20.
20.
A dis?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
+6.
But the wide boy.
And maybe after we've introduced you to the Pale King, we could get a drink.
Take you up on it.
Well, it's been a right old pleasure doing business with a lot of you. Seem like you're settling well here with your good doctor.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
If there's nothing further, I've got things to blue. It's a little Blue Buds joke. You'll catch on.
Oh, that genuinely made me laugh.
You have a point of inspiration for laughing at my horrible joke.
Is that all it takes?
Apparently so.
Next session.
And as the Pale Master, as Keldroth walks back into this room that shouldn't exist, flanked by these dragon aberrants, I think that is where we shall close the session.
Clench.
You've successfully negotiated Dr. Goreldo's tithe payments to the Blue King, which seems like a nice little fitting way to end this session.
Got a job if we want to take it as well.
You got a job if you want to take it.
Or some possible allies we can go find.
So thank you very much to you guys for playing. Thank you very much to the viewers for viewing. Thank you very much to the DM for DMing. That's me. Hi.
Well done, you.
You did a great job.
Elliot.
We'll be back next week with some Pirates of Kalhimar, which is our pirate theme
Pirate
campaign.
Council has been called.
Yeah, which we are level. It's very contrast to this. We're level 2 here at the moment. That's level 16, so it's very much at the other end of the spectrum. So if you want to see some high level play, that's where you can go check that out. All the rest of Ellseworld is also on YouTube. So if you're wondering what the fuck is going on, you can go check that out now. Yeah, I don't even know what's going on. I've just got one note on here that says Blue King.
It's just the word blue.
What can I do with this? Thank you very much to the players. Thanks to the viewers. We got a couple of little plugs before we go.
Follow Dungeoneers Pack. Have you heard of Dungeoneers Pack?
I've heard of Dungeoneers Pack, but why don't you elaborate upon it?
It's an Instagram page where we post artwork for D&D, where we post D12 tables for D&D, where we post wildcard posts for D&D.
There's some spooky stuff coming up.
There's going to be
soon.
some cool
We're actually
Halloween
going to post
things.
next week.
Yeah.
Would you imagine that? It's so exciting.
Yeah.
As well as that, you can buy our art on Etsy.
Yeah,
and
Dungeoneers
Cellar.
Cellar, like the place you'd go down to where the kobolds live.
Yeah,
The
but
basement,
also
yeah.
we're selling things. It's kind of funny if you write it down.
Yeah, it is really funny when you write it down. Just like every good joke.
Follow Jams.
I don't watch stand-up, I read their scripts after the
The timing in my head is the best timing that I'm going to get. That's false. Subtitles fucking suck for watching a comedy show. Anyway, follow Jams on Twitch and on Instagram.
Yeah, please do. If you like fun, stupid shit, if you laughed at some of the things that we said today, I'm going to be around on Thursday over on my Twitch channel at JamsCanDraw for my online birthday party. With this one, potentially some other special guests as well, if I can organise myself. We're gonna chat shit, probably drink some wine. I'm gonna be drawing silly things given to me either by these two or by the Twitch chat. If that sounds like something that could be vaguely entertaining to you, and you also want to come and be nice to me on my birthday, come hang out with us on Thursday. We're gonna start at roughly 8 p.m. Are we still BST at this point? Clock's up.
Just about, yeah.
BST.
That's 3 p.m. Eastern or sometime Pacific.
But we're going to be there all night, baby.
Specifically what time?
Ah.
Callum, tell us about poems.
Poetry exists. You can find it in books.
Thanks, Cal.
And in your heart.
I got nothing to plug coming up at the moment. No, I do. That's a lie. The fourth Wednesday of this month, come find me on a boat. Specifically the John Sebastian Lightship. For Satellite of Love with Caleb Parkin, former poet laureate of Bristol. Wow. Bristol Poet Laureate, that's the one. Bristol Poet Laureate. They're fucking amazing. And thank you to Fantasy Animal Vegan for donating and giving me an advantage. That was really fucking nice of you.
Thanks to all the patrons. Thanks to all the homies.
You can check links down below and find our Patreon, where there's a lot more things as well as the tables. You
Get
can go have a
involved,
look
get
there and
involved.
find
I'll draw
out
something
what
for you.
to
You can
do.
join our Patreon as well. Say a little thank you.
I will give you a lock of my hair.
Really?
Fucking remember, tune in next week.
To find out what Cal's intro is. Come on!
Kane.
Oh, just a special shout out to Caro and Aloe Boyo for being in chat for the whole stream.
Yeah,
Thanks for
Having
hanging
a
out with
laugh.
us,
I love
guys.
chatting with you.
Yeah.
You're the best.
Lovely. Anything else for anything else?
That's it.
Listen for the wind.
Yes, indeed. Go to the grove, listen to the wind, lay down upon your mossy bed and have a long rest as we sign off for the night. Stay grovey, my lovely people. We'll be back with you next week.
The wind says destroy capitalism.